Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Paul, Felicia, Ed, and Corinne with their adventures on the fringe of Imperial space. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out your options in the chat bar below. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below or vote towards the session twist by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players for their continuing mission, High Alert, as we go back a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hello, everyone, and hello to all of our players.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's been a warm week. My God, it's been a warm week. But glad to be back in the seat again. Although it feels like only yesterday that I was doing the Benefactor game, and I was wondering why. And I realized it was because on Sunday night we played Lancer, DM'd by Ed, and that was an amazing game. So for those who don't know about, well, no, absolutely DM'd. You carried it, didn't you? So we were doing like I think this is the first time you've kind of dipped your toe into it. And,
yeah, learning rules.
We had the lovely Rodrigo that people will know from the Benefactor, and we had a few others in there, and it was lovely meeting them. Never played with them before. And if you don't know what Lancer is basically a Gundam-style RPG where, if you like Mech Warrior, Titanfall, BattleTech, Evangelion, any Gundam type thing, it crosses over all of them so you can be whatever you want to be. And I went with a pretty extreme character. Ed was very indulging. I was playing a adrenaline junkie pilot that had called Hollywood, who had a mech called Showtime, and I ended up having a little pair of arms called manipulators, where I was doing little air guitars as we were being drop zoned into the planet, and doing things like power slides in my mech and things. And it was like, this is what it is for.
You were a studio trigger mech, basically. All right, good stuff.
Pretty much. You could be forgiven for thinking that my mech was like for some sort of show and not for combat, especially considering I've got this giant glaive, and every now and again I was turning the glaive around, air guitaring the glaive.
I mean, if you can't do that in a ridiculous mech game, what's the point?
Exactly. I was wondering what kind of game it was going to be, and it was absolutely the game that I wanted it to be. It was just like, all expectations met, and the others had some fantastic characters as well. We had like the straight guy, as in, like serious, kind of almost OCD guy with post-it notes in his cab and all the rest of it. We had Rodrigo played Luna, this ice maiden, almost Kill Bill-esque character who, is quite sullen and all the rest of it, and very subdued until she gets in the mech, at which point she's an absolute murderer. And then Lex, I was going to say Lex played Lexington. Then the last character was Lex, played by Vic, who was just this really peppy, happy, part mechanic, part hacker, because I was also a hacker, and some of the stuff that they were pulling off. And I was surprised that, considering some of the complexity you can get into, oh my God, can you get into the complexity? That's part of the joy of it. Everybody, even on a pilot game where we pretty much built our characters a few minutes before we started playing, everybody got what they were doing very, very quickly. That's credit to you as well, because you were just kind of guiding us through it. But there were like fringe rules where we're like, how does this work? We'll look at it later. Let's say it's this for now. But I think that only happened like 2 or 3 times, considering
I've got 3 notes
how much there is to absorb.
Things to look up. So
again, thank you, Ed. And I thought I'd better recommend that to anybody who's on here, because anybody who's watching this, whether you're watching it now or on VOD, and you're into your sci-fi, chances are you're into your big fucking robots as well. So Ed, how do you get hold of Lancer?
I believe it's on itch.io. I think that's pretty much the only place you can get it at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so Massive Press. That is
Massive Press, yeah.
That does it.
It's I think it's like, is it like a British and a Polish writer, or an American and Polish writer?
No, one of them
Salvadorian. Salvadorian,
Yes.
isn't it? Salvadorian, and I don't know who the second guy is.
I'm not sure. Rodrigo knew better than us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and if you want to know anything about Lancer, just ask. Well, put aside 3 hours and ask Rodrigo to tell him about Lancer. Tell you about Lancer.
The art is off the chain as well. Like, I think there's a guy who did a webcomic called 6 Billion Monsters or something like that.
Kill 6 billion demons.
That's it. That one. Yeah, something about 6 billion, and which the art of which in that comic is insane, and he just brings all that madness. And the main point being that he brings an art style for all of those those mecha cliches, from your sort of Pat LaBerre style, pure robot mecha fantasy, to your sort of weird organic.
Oh yeah, the entire range. That's why I said you can go kind of Western American mech warrior, all the way through to the weirdest, most LSD dropping Gundam manga fantasy that you can think of, with like little drone things flying about, arcs of pink electricity and all sorts of shit. You can get all of that in
Let's
Lancer.
get Macross in here, baby, basically.
Let me just see if I can correct that a bit. Should be all right. There we go. Cool. Super impressed. And the system, I love the system. The system was so easy, and it has a good crit system as well, I think, which is instead of waiting for a 20 to appear on a dice, just get above a 20 in a school. I was like,
it's good.
Sweet. Anyway, enough frothing about that. We are now playing Edge of the Empire. So when we left off in this mission, High Alert, which is based around Chevron, Lias Gran, the Keith Richards of my universe, who is a Doug, contacted Chevron. I think it's safe to say tripping balls. By the way, I still haven't managed to get the color correction balance. I'm going between yellow and pink right now, thanks to my green screen. Lias Gran contacted Chevron, tripping balls, saying that a type of spice had been brought onto a special celebrity party space station known as the Cube. Very, very exclusive club. This new spice had come in called Emerald Road, and when people started taking it, it was smooth. There was no hangover, there was no kickback or anything along those lines for a few days, and then everybody started going crazy, feral, being violent to each other, trying to kill each other, and Lias and presumably maybe some other people have gone to ground in the space station, staying away from these murderous feral types. Now, it's been a few days. It took you a while to get there. So you're hoping that Lias is still alive. You've got 3 ships that have undocked from the Cube, and from what you can tell, that the same kind of massacre went on those ships. And you did speak to one of them. You spoke to one of the captains, Katare, of Lias Gran's ship, and you know that she's like the number 1 in that ship. So she's the first mate. And the She pointed you to the cattle entrance. So the bottom of this cube has a section where they drive in live cattle, so they can be killed quickly for things like steak tartare and all the rest of it. One of the stupid indulgences, refrigeration exists, but a weird indulgence that they have here on the cube. The other thing as well is that just before you decided on where you're going, I got you to roll a force dice. Well, I got Paul to roll a force dice. He got 2 light side points on there, which is favorable destiny, very favorable destiny.
Incredibly lucky.
And an astromech, R3A2, contacted you and said, "Are you here to help?" You did respond, but we're going to go back to that line where you say, "Yes, you are." And we're going to continue the conversation from there. So what would you like to ask R3A2?
What's the situation on the space station?
We currently have a violent situation on the space station. I don't know a great deal more than that. I've had to lock myself into my own cabinet. At which point, JT, you'll know that astromechs normally have like a docking port or something like that, and sometimes just to keep them out the way, this is in some sort of cupboard. And so at the moment, this astromech is neatly plugged into the system and not coming out because chances are it's heard other droids being trashed.
Are you able to give our astromech access to the cameras on the station?
Not part of my system, I'm afraid. We keep a very tight security system, and I'm not a security droid. I'm mostly here to make sure that we pilot out of the way of any flotsam and jetsam that come past.
Well, do you have access to where you are then?
Yes, I can give you access to a number of the corridors. All the things that I should be able to get into, I can get you into. Please give me the registration of your astromech.
Sure.
X4?
X4.
Okay. X4 sends its registration code, at which point he says, "I'm in. I should come with you."
If you think that's right, X4.
They're saying, "Yes, I can do more on the station."
Okay. Do you have control over the door for the cattle entrance? No.
X4 says, "A2 has just given me access."
Well done. Thank you so much, A2. We'll do our best to calm things down in the station. Have you sent any distress call?
At which point A2 says, "Unfortunately, that's an external communication system. Due to the secrecy of our clientele, only a high security level can send external communications."
So if I asked who the last person to dock before all this started was, you wouldn't be able to tell me?
Unfortunately, no. It's not my department.
Well,
Who
maybe
is-
we can find one that's still
Who
operational.
are there any droids with security clearance?
Hopefully.
Okay, you don't know. That's fine.
Can you give us anything else to work with? We've got a map. Do you know where's safe on the station at the moment?
I'm afraid not. Most of my clearance was for outside of the station. I can go around the major corridors and deal repairs, but mostly my job was to keep our coordinates. And you know that this space station is drifting. Yeah, It's a traveling space station. It doesn't have any geosynchronous orbit. It's not attached to any celestial bodies or asteroid fields or anything like that. This thing is tumbling through space. So are you at the moment. So every now and again, Clarity and JT and X4, whichever, is having to adjust and kind of strafe the ship around the cube, because the cube, according to you, is moving. And the ships that have kind of come off it are kind of drifting in roughly the same direction as it, if not having the same rotation.
Could I get a read on this droid? Just try and figure out if they've got kind of Ulterior motives. That's what I'm looking for.
Sure, give me a computers check.
Computers.
Yep.
Oh,
and
not. I was thinking like.
Droid to droid.
No, I was thinking more like inflections in voice and stuff like that. But I guess if it's over text, that doesn't make. Yeah.
Completely emotionless stream of binary.
Fair enough. I will try a computers check.
Good luck.
Computers, and depending on the diff that you choose, I will give you more.
Cool. I'm going diff 1. Because hey, it's a success.
Hey!
Hey.
At diff 1, you can tell that this astromech very much has the attitude of if it's not his job, he doesn't ask questions.
Okay.
Seems to be a very simple astromech based on the inflections of the answers and how quickly and easily it answered. Probably feel like it doesn't have the complexity of core programming of either U or X4.
So it doesn't know, not because it's hiding, but because it doesn't care.
The difference, a cocktail of not caring and not being intelligent enough or inquisitive enough to believe it can be part of the solution.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the designation again? I didn't know that.
Designation R3A2.
R3A2. Thank you.
Yeah, and so far all it's kind of given you is docking clearance, and that's the only thing that's a little bit fishy about it all, is that it says that it hasn't got access to a great deal of stuff, but it's just allowed you on the station.
Well, if you're able to control docking, could you make sure that no one else boards other than us? There seems to be some more of the problem aboard some of the ships that are out here.
I can't do that, but I can just not help them.
Can you stop anyone else from leaving?
I guess I could. Mostly just by running interference. I could give commands to the various docking procedures that they're just locked up in commands all the time.
That would be useful, I think. Just us to come in and out, please.
Sure. I'll put them all on rotating diagnostics. So all of the doors now, other than the one you're going into, are rotating diagnostics and just not coming out of that loop.
Nice.
Good answer. I like that idea.
Do you know where we could get access to lists of guests, if they exist even?
Oh, that would be the highest security. You would need to go for, well, it would be one of the security droids, or you would need one of the etiquette droids.
Could you give us points on a map?
I could tell you where they're all stationed.
That would be useful.
Suddenly, bleep, 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 in the schematic of this 14-floor cube, there is there are little dots where each of them have their designated point. He hasn't given you security droid patrol routes, but the stations that they are stationed.
Yeah, like the base stations.
Yeah. That's where you have that. So when you're coming up to one, I'll tell you.
X4, how's your droid hacking?
There's a kind of and almost as if he was saluting, it comes up across your screen, as good as ever.
07.
Yes.
Wow. For the short amount of time that I played Eve, big exercise in disappointment. Yeah, 07. I'm cringing. But yes, that's the that's pretty much what you've got from your little astromech friend.
Are we ready to take the plunge?
I think so.
Hell yeah.
There's not much else we can do, so yeah, let's go for it.
I will bring us in.
Okay. You dock the front of the ship, being that you've got a couple of docking ports around the ship, one on each side, one on top, one on the bottom, one in front. And you dock the one in the front, and it pressurizes. Seems fine. It's a large cargo thing because you're supposed to drive cattle in there. So it's actually your front cargo
Remember
bay
that
that docks to it.
we decided to bring like breathing masks in case the drugs are airborne, because we
Yes.
talked about that last session.
Good call. Good
You're
call.
basically keeping your spacesuits on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Which for you, Felicia, is actually a bolt-on to your armor.
yeah.
So you kind of, and it kind of fits around the visor.
Mm.
Okay.
Please tell me Chevron has his smuggler's coat on over the spacesuit.
Oh god,
Absolutely.
yes. It's
Absolutely.
Chevron.
You can do that.
Of course, it's vacuum proof, obviously. You know. Just means all the stuff in my
If it's
pockets
on the
is floating
inside,
around
you
there.
can't access any of it, so it has to be on the outside to be effective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too, and it's more stylish that way.
Yeah. I'm getting a bit of Star-Lord going on, yeah, because he had the long coat and then the headpiece,
I mean, I will look over at Nima and just sigh at the waste. Spent all that money, got you dressed up nice, and then straight into the spacesuit. Oh well.
I mean, it's on under. I'll like when I take it off.
Yeah, but
I
it's
still
like
look
it's
damn
like
good, though.
wearing a dress and then having to get into a hazmat suit. You're there having to hike it up and all the rest of it. It's like those moments where any kind of thoughts of thinking that you're a Disney princess are over and done with us. They're hiking and pulling things into various directions to get into this space. So yeah, you. Let me bring you guys back over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys get into your ship. Into your spacesuits, and when you tell Clarity, she opens the doors, and I was going to say a smell of manure comes out of the door, but none of you can smell it.
Well,
I can
JT can.
sense it.
Yeah, JT can. It has smell sensors.
Yeah. So yes, your very small gas chromatograph that you have in your sensory grid does tell you that there is a high organic content with certain
Gross.
biodegradable derivatives and a higher than usual proportion of methane.
But the question is, Simon, are there cowpats all over the floor?
It's actually very clean, but it's like a very clean. It's one of those places that even though it's clean and you can see the floor is perfectly clean, you can tell what it's used for. There's
never
like
get the
little
smell out.
scuffs of hooves and things like that. And you can see that there's a side covered walkway that seems to go into an office that's empty, and it's just a small kind of warehouse office. And then the majority of the entrance is taken up by this kind of funnel-walled droving tunnel that goes into various pens.
So just before we go any further, Clarity, can you undock and float nearby until we need you again?
Of course.
So let's clarify this. Does this mean now we left the pit droid? So there's basically a crate full of handcuffs, and the pit droids are now hanging out in the.
Oh no, they've come
landing
off
bay.
with us. They are.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So
they're behind us.
I'm just checking who's disembarking, so we're clear. So it's
Yes.
Ocelot, Yarn
It's
2.
like the Star Wars
pit
version
droids.
of the Terry Pratchett luggage,
Yeah.
but instead it's a bunch of pit droids with a crate.
With
Awesome.
a crate of grenades.
Grenades and handcuffs.
Specifically, bashful, happy, dock, and sneezing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, those are what the first four is that.
So
I chose them because of their personalities, because they are the least likely to get something wrong.
I did give you the quirks of each of them. I'm really glad that we've got this player lore document. I'm going to be doing this more often because I was just there like, okay, which ones are you gonna? Oh yes, we wrote them down. Thank you. So yes, you.
Having a player lore for something like the Benefactor would require one of us to actually keep and write stuff.
Well, that's Nick.
Would
Well,
probably be
occasionally they
Nick.
dig into their notes and I get really surprised. So yeah, where suddenly they just pull out a thing and I'm kind of like, man, you're making me check my notes. What the? So yes, you get yourself in there, and as I say, there's a droving tunnel to the right, which takes up the majority of the space. It's quite large, but it does start to funnel down to the point where the cattle would have to go in single file. And then after that, on the left, there is a corridor that goes into like a small warehouse office, but you don't know where anything leads from there because you can only see part of the office from here.
Okay. Are we aware of anywhere there might be a droid access port nearby? I guess if there's an office nearby, I would suggest we head for there.
Normally it would be in the office, yeah.
Okay. Sure. In character, make that suggestion. Yes. So,
Okay.
X4, let's do our best to get you plugged in, shall we?
And you go into the office. The office has 2 corpses in it.
Oh yeah, we're doing it quietly. We're not just barging in. By the way,
Quiet pit droids. Quiet Yantu. Anyway, yes. Sorry.
What I was gonna say, we got lost in everybody talking, but do we actually need to have our full? Because I have just a breath mask, which just filters out air rather than just having a full.
Wear what you choose.
Yeah. So I'm just wearing like a mask that is
Sure.
a breathing mask. So
yeah, you've got a face mask, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Rather
as
than a
Simon said,
full-
mine just attaches to the rest of the armor, so...
Yeah. Rather than wearing a full spacesuit and like.
Sure. So the you go in there. There's 2 corpses in here. One of them is a human female. The way that she is dressed is she looks like some sort of farmer or cattle wrangler. You have a feeling that she deals with the cattle that come in. And the second one seems to be like a shipping clerk. He's Rhodian, and he's still sat at his desk. It looks like somebody came up and just cut his throat from behind. Whereas it was clear that the woman did a lot of fighting before she died. As the Rhodian had his throat cut, the woman succumbed to a chopping weapon, a large bladed weapon that has basically chopped into her skin. You can see that some of the blood trails go into where the cattle pens are, and there seems to be some sort of trail in there. And you can see that there is a door that goes into a corridor that you think is probably going into the rest of the station. I would like you all to make perception checks at Diff 2.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hey,
Okay.
success and advantage.
Nah.
Perception, was it? Sorry. Oh, I'm good at
Only
that.
2 successes.
Oh, did it?
Yours popped in at the bottom for some reason.
Yeah, what the dickens?
Okay. So, Victorian Chevron, you're just distracted by the bloodbath that's in front of you. It's quite a disturbing sight. It's not so much that you don't hear it, that you just kind of dismiss it as background noise in the station. You've yet to attune to the background noises that you can expect in the station. Sometimes it's whirring machinery, sometimes it's clicking and clanking, droids walking around, the susurrus of people trading, and you just haven't attuned to the how it should feel at the moment. JT and Nima. So first of all, JT, you can hear a cattle. I was about to say a member of cattle. It's not a member of cattle. a cattle creature, piece of cattle. How do you say it? Single cattle.
A cow.
I mean,
Okay, a
cattle
nerf.
specific. Yeah, nerf.
Cow.
You can hear a nerf bellow and then stop. So, Nima, you are kind of you're just getting accustomed to the life force around you, feeling the force. and suddenly you just feel life snuffed out very quickly, and it's almost like the life signature did it so abruptly that it was almost not anticipating dying, as in it died suddenly rather than in pain.
Did you get the direction of that?
Did I?
Yes, you both did.
Yes.
It's in the cattle pens.
That way.
Is there a way I can get kind of on a gantry above cattle pens without being seen?
No, there is no such gantry here.
You guys heading back, so that's back towards the loading bay, though, essentially.
What?
Is that right?
They're kind of side by side, so it's not back at all. In fact, where they heard this is actually deeper inside the station anyway. So at the moment, the fork in the road that you have is that you can go further into the cattle processing department, or you can go into the corridor.
Well, heads on a swivel first. I'm going to start examining these two bodies and see if there's any kind of trail left by whoever came here.
Yes, there's a smear of blood. There's no need to roll. There's a smear of blood going from the female human out towards the cattle processing area. Bloody footprints.
And how fresh is that?
It's quite old. Probably from as far back as, I mean, you can roll for more, but probably as far back as when Laius called. I don't see how you would want more specific than that, but you don't need to roll for that. And well, actually, there is something you can roll for. There is something you can roll for, JT, because you're a safari droid.
I am.
Give me, it would be a tracking roll. What's that? That would be survival?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the survival roll.
Give me a survival check, and I will give you the race of the footprints that are walking away, because they are bare footprints.
Diff.
The diff for this is 2. It's a standard diff.
Hey, triumph.
Triumph, yeah, absolutely. In that case, you get a little bit more than the average track. So the footprints that are coming from this creature, let me just bring up the picture.
I think this is the first time you've seen JT go into like full tracking mode, like kneeling on the ground, feeling the dust that nobody else can see, kind of sniffing the air with his gas chromaticism. I've forgotten the word.
Gas chromatograph.
Chromatograph. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the creature that you're tracking is very clearly a basilisk. Not only that, a muscular basilisk, male, and larger than the average basilisk as well. And it's not necessarily looking like a picture. I've put a mugshot up of a basilisk, but not necessarily the picture of this. Basilisks can go from being very lithe and almost like a bird of prey-ish to I think it's Dexter, that was Obi-Wan's friend.
Dexter Jetster. Dexter Jetster.
Dexter Jetster. Wow, I didn't know his surname. Yeah, you can see these lovely meaty feet that they have, and it's unmistakably that. But not only do you get that it is a basilisk, but you get that this is called a muscular basilisk. And based on the chopping wounds that you can see as well, you put 2 and 2 together and make the assumption that this was probably the butcher. The person responsible for chopping up said steaks.
Yeah, so I'll turn to the group. Basilisk killed them. We just heard a cattle die. This blood's quite old. I can only assume the basilisk has been living off the nerfs for however long.
That would make sense. Do you think that they're probably...
Yeah, I'm pulling the sword just for safety as we start looking through. Because Victoria will investigate the whatever way Nima sends the light force
I got
snuff out thingy.
My
Oh.
gun would stun out, not the I melt your face gun.
Good.
Do we need to bother this one? If we are heading towards a security droid, I presume the corridor would be the wiser choice.
Actually, that might be a better idea of just leaving it alone for now, because he's feral and doesn't know anything at the moment.
Minimizing contact, I think, would be best.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is there anything?
What about securing a way
X4 offers
out?
to lock the door to that area.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Just lock him in.
I'm not going to roll because there's no pressure in this. He does it until it's done, and
Makes sense.
locks the doors and locks all of the cattle bays as well. And I'm going to give it again to JT and Nemo. I'm just going to roll off the last one. You can hear this deep bestial bellowing as the cattle sections get closed off.
I think that may have been the right choice.
Well, at least we've got one sample for Ixo if we need one.
Good point. Yes, actually, if we have ammunition on the way back, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Over your comlinks, you hear, yes, I would particularly be interested to find out what happens to basilisk biochemistry under this compound. They have a particular constitution that I think that would be more resistant than most races. Also, if you can find me a Deveronian, I'd be most pleased.
We'll do our best.
Nice to have you advising, Ixo. Any other tidbits you can offer at this point in time?
Oh, this isn't Ixo. This is
Apologies.
this is
Geezer.
G123R.
Apologies. Yes.
And X4 by way of explanation says that G123R currently has access to his visual component.
Okay, so G1 is that Geyser?
Yeah. So Geyser is looking through X4.
Geezer. Yeah, Geezer.
Whatever you want.
Well, the question there is it worth doing that now if we might not be heading back this way?
I fear my instinct says we'll have time to pick up other samples in the station. I hope it goes smoothly enough that we can come back here and pick up our friend, but let's just say our luck doesn't usually roll that way.
The patient appears to be isolated at the moment, hopefully unable to hurt itself. I would like very much if we could try to subdue and otherwise restrain, safely of course, the patient so that I can somehow treat the poor fellow.
Well, Chevron, you're the lead on this one.
Yeah.
I will heft my sniper rifle at this point. It can stun at medium range.
If they don't run at the sight of this sword, I can just, I don't know, kick them. My boots can stun.
Yeah, kick them. We left you the patches to just.
If
I
you think this
guess.
specimen is of particular interest, Giza, then maybe it's worth the detour.
Let's take the detour.
Oh no, I'm interested in its effect on every species on the station.
Yeah, we'll probably get.
We'll keep this one in the back pocket.
Yes, I would suggest that there are other patients on the space station that are currently in greater danger, either from themselves or from those who are suffering aggressive tendencies. This one is safe. It is a low priority.
Yes.
A fair assessment, I think.
Let's
While
continue.
you're plugged in, X4, anything else you can see other than the door mechanism?
X4 points out that the system that he's in at the moment only can look at this section, and it hasn't occurred to X4 because it doesn't look at things like cameras. But looking through the system, X4 does say, "Oh, there are cameras that look into the animal pens if you want."
Oh yeah, that's just to see if they are
Let's see
indeed
what
safe.
we've caught.
Yeah.
and points over to a little arm, comes out and points over to a monitor that crackles into life as X4 starts cycling through the various feeds. You can see that a lot of the stalls, some stalls are empty and sprayed down clean. In fact, in one of the video feeds, you can see that there is the space equivalent of a Karcher pressure washer that is there that's used for cleaning out the pens. However, some of the pens are filthy with dried, congealed blood spilled across the floor, and in some cases, signs of a struggle where someone or something has spread a blood-covered limb up the wall. As X4 cycles through the pens, you can see that there are a number of nerfs and other such cattle that are just there. Some of them, I'm going to get you to roll. Some of them are looking quite nervous and kind of pacing and buffeting the stalls. And finally, it gets to the one that you've been looking for. Sat amongst a carcass of bones, mostly kind of blood-matted bones, is a large, almost obscenely obese and engorged basilisk. At which point, Geyser, G123R, pipes up and says, "Oh, this is most distressing. I don't believe that basilisk physiology is capable of going to those extremes."
Yeah.
Overindulgence.
I believe more than overindulgence, JTVO. I would say it's more something along the lines of mutagenesis.
Do you think
Lovely.
the drug has mutated him?
One of many possible mechanisms by which you can come to this conclusion, but as good one as any to go with at the moment.
If we got you a sample now, would you be able to figure this out?
I am afraid that because I'm on a ship that is no longer connected with the space station, you do not have the facilities at the moment there to do the types of testing I would require. If I was still connected and you were able to pass me the sample through the cargo bay, I could get on it straight away. But for now, yes, looking at the sizing based on the juxtaposition of the basilisk fellow next to that, what I believe is a full-sized and fully grown nerf, yes, I would say that mutagenesis has been occurring in this case.
Let's keep an eye out for more of that to see if it's a trend between the patients.
Indeed, I think it would be most useful.
Let's hurry up and find that friend of yours, Chevron.
Yes, let's get Lars safe first, then we can worry about this mystery we seem to find ourselves in.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
So I think if we've
Let's
exhausted
take the
our
hallway.
yeah.
Okay, you go into the hallway and you can see that what seems to be the rest of the bottom floor is separated into a kind of logistics and storage area. There are large cargo bays, very well signposted as to what you can find in each one, whether they be the wine cellar, although it's mostly a huge alcohol store, cleaning products, various performance backdrops because they have their own kind of performance and entertainment here, spare supplies for the thing itself, for the space station itself, and the bottom floor of the cube is almost entirely storage. You can see that there is a door that going to a set of elevators and stairs that go up to the next floor, which you can see from here, is a hatch where presumably the recently cut up steaks and things would be put there. It's a refrigerated hatch.
Keep an eye out. We don't know where they're hiding, especially if they're feral.
Yep.
Darling, can you sense any life with force?
Yes, do I sense any life force around Simon?
That's a perception check for you.
Yeah, what difficulty?
Diff 3 at the moment.
Uncanny senses. Yep. 2 advantages.
Okay. Any successes?
No.
No life forms. But you are aware, as in generally aware.
I'm aware. I can't sense anything right now.
Good.
X4. On the map, are the stairs and elevators the only ways up? Or are there other, less obvious ways up?
And suddenly highlighted in your HUD and on most of your compads and your visor, you can see that there are 4. I'm going to call them Jeffrey's tubes. I know that they don't exist here, but that's the best word I can give them. They are basically small maintenance ladders. By the looks of it, the only things other than those are 2 sets of stairways, and that's kind of standard for if there's a fire near one, you go up the other, and an elevator as well. So there is a cargo elevator that goes to the next level and potentially beyond.
Unfortunately, I don't think our pit droids can take the ladder with that crate. Do you think they can take the stairs, JT, or do we have to use the elevator?
I'm going to tell you now, you can just, looking at the stairs are made for hefting cargo up. In fact, they have rails going up the side of the stairs. You know that the pit droids would be able to take the crate up, no problem.
And do any of the tubes run near the stairs? Is there an option for one of us to scout without having to stick our head around the major thoroughfare?
There's one that's fairly close. It's when you go to the next floor, you have a feeling that you'll probably emerge just around the corner from where the stairs are.
Okay.
I suggest I go and scout then.
If you're sure, JT.
I'm the quietest.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Other question I suppose I have is, do you have any indication as to where the guest quarters are on the vessel?
You know that, if you consider this the bottom floor, floor 1, you know that it's going to be quite a bit higher, probably floors 5 to 13.
Yeah, up, basically. Okay.
Yep.
Onwards and upwards then, as much as that applies in space. But anyway.
Yeah, I'll swing my gun around on my back and find the Jeffrey's tube we were talking about.
Sure.
Very, very quietly try and get up and poke my head and just get a view of the corridor.
Okay.
Is this where Simon says stealth check?
It will be in a minute. So on the way to the Jeffrey's tube, you do notice that there is there's evidence of people, and this is kind of going in JT tracker mode, not needing to roll. You can see that there have been people down here. In the time it's taken to go from the liquor store to the stairs, somebody has managed to polish off a bottle of spirits and throw the bottle against a wall. It shattered against the wall and hit the floor into pieces. So you have a feeling that this is a place frequented by those who want to get pissed.
Actually, quickly, gonna have a glance in the liquor store just to make sure there's nobody in there behind us.
Yep. You look around into there. There's 3 dead bodies.
Cool.
Yep. So there are the dead bodies of a Togruta, a Toydarian, and a human male. And it looks like there was some sort of argument about the liquor. One of them seems to have had a blaster shot in the back, The other two have been beaten to death by blunt objects. You're pretty sure that the large broken bottle of spirits that's by the side covered in blood was probably what did it for one.
Who's holding the sample collection kit?
Good question. I don't think we've established that.
I'm going to say that you've all been given the supplies to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see if anyone's got any signage of spice usage about their person, to see if there's an obvious candidate for, at the very least, who is the most druggy looking out of this trio.
Okay. Instead of medical, I will allow you to do streetwise or let's see, anything else? No, I'll allow streetwise or even intelligence underworld.
Intelligence. No.
I will also accept medical from anybody who wants to use it.
Diff, sir?
Diff? This is only a 2.
Hey, oh my gosh. Oh no, actually, wait. No, that cancelled out. That's a failure. But it's a triumphant failure. Huzzah.
So, with a triumph on this...
Does one of them have a sample on them of said Emerald Road?
It's why I love this system. You've suggested it, so that's what you're going to get. You can see that fallen out of one of the pockets of the individuals is a very neatly packaged small hexagonal box, very thin box that contains spice.
Well, that's a bit more interesting than what I was looking for, but that's one thing we came for.
You're making the assumption based on what you found that they were all on it.
I'm loath to test it to find out, if I'm honest. I think I'll just...
Yeah, maybe not.
Note down that you have 1 dose of Emerald Road.
Done.
Shall we take samples from all 3?
I assume we have the capacity to do so.
Yep. Yep. You take samples from all 3. So, yep. You take the. Let's see. The.
Togruta, Toydarian, and Human Male.
Yeah, the Togruta, the Toydarian, and the Human Male. Out of all of them, the Toydarian has a rictus of absolute fury on his face. The Togruta just seems to have gone peaceful when they're killed, but the Togruta was the person who got shot in the back. The Human Male is very rough. You have a look at him, and I would like anybody who is interested and currently looking to do me a knowledge inner rim. Knowledge core worlds.
We never do knowledge lore. Never do knowledge lore.
And no, the diff on this one is just a diff 2 again. It's a day of diff 2.
Nope.
Chevron, for you, it's actually diff 1.
Right, Chevron's intelligence. Here we go.
Yay!
Okay. So yeah, Chevron, you know this guy. This guy was the former spokesperson, as in he was the spokesperson until someone killed him, of NutriPack Yellow. NutriPack Yellow is one of the most common selling nutrition packs in the corporate sector. It's taken by high performance people. The NutriPack range has a number of different colors that you can be attuned to, and it has a mixture of various nutrients and calorie content according to the world that you belong to. This guy is 5 times podcast championship winner. You know this because you remember the advert that was playing over and over during one of the party worlds that you were on, where he keeps repeating that he is 5 times 6 times or whatever so it was podcast championship winner, Todd Reckett. And
what a name. What a name.
And Todd Reckett was always pimping this this NutriPack Yellow, which is for people who require a high concentration and adrenal performance. So recommended for bounty hunters and high business professionals who live on the edge.
You were saying podcast. Did you mean pod racing?
Did I say podcast? Pod
Yes.
racing, sorry.
I was gonna say, I was very
Podcast
weird,
jacket.
like podcasts.
Yes, no. This is the distant past / future. Podcasting is a sport now.
Podcasting
I-
is where you
I just
jump
didn't-
in the
well
ship.
be.
Didn't
So,
question
yeah.
it. And could
Um,
we get the sexes for the Toydarian and the Togruta? Just my notes.
Todarian is male. Togruta is more difficult to determine.
Okay.
And AFAB.
Cool.
Okay.
This ties in nicely to Chevron's knowledge pod racing. He sort of like toes him over and is like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, this guy is unshaven, where normally he has he's fully shaved, chiseled chin, normally made up a lot. This guy hasn't got any makeup on, and as a result, you can see signs of alcoholism on his cheeks. He's got the kind of burst blood vessels on his cheeks that you have a feeling have had a lot of attention with the makeup artist. You can see where there's evidence now that you're scrutinizing the guy of where he's had laser surgery to break down some of the burst blood vessels. But even then, you're kind of wondering if, based on the most recent advert that you've seen, whether they're just using the CGI of his likeness rather than using the actual Todd Reckett anymore, because, he's lying down, but there's a bit of a paunch that you're pretty sure you didn't see in the ad.
concede. I just pointed to us and I think this is our first dead celebrity. At one point to me.
And
Well, I found him, so surely it's a point to me.
Are we keeping
Conceded.
points?
Is that the game we're playing now?
Well, this is
Todd died by being beamed on the back of the head by a whiskey bottle, basically.
Yeah.
Hardly a rock and roll end, or depending on your point of view, an absolute rock and roll
I was
end.
gonna say that's an absolute rock and roll. end.
That
to
does
his life.
sound very rock and roll.
And
If you're
ju-
gonna go out via whiskey bottle.
and falling out of his jacket pocket. His jacket, by the way, little blood covered, but a beautiful designer jacket.
Don't tell Chevron.
Oh no, Chevron can see it. Chevron can see this. This is a designer leather, as in kind of Nerf calf hide flying jacket, kind of like a flying ace jacket, and falling out of the left pocket, right next to his. You're not entirely sure if absolutely genuine or absolutely fake Rolex equivalent watch. Is a bar of NutriPack Yellow.
okay.
Ironic. Let's look the other way and see if Chevron decides to corpse loot or not.
At this point, JT's just walking over to the Jeffries tube, so do what you will.
Okay. Yeah, you go over to the Jeffries tube. You're keeping your sensors. Well, you're keeping full energy on your sensor grid, and there doesn't seem to be anybody. You can hear kind of echoes coming down the stairs, but you have a feeling the stairs go up quite some way. And the fact that they are not immediate and loud, you don't think it's the floor above. And yeah, you get to the let's call it maintenance tunnels with no issue at all. Are you guys? Do you guys want to do anything else on this level?
I want to see if I can surreptitiously remove this jacket or not, without anyone else in the party noticing. That's the real question.
We have
Uh,
conveniently turned away from you, so
Don't know
you
if
They
know.
did
is
say
on
they
there.
turned away, so
Oh, I see.
I'm not
Just
even going to
like-
give you a skulldug
Alright.
check. You can just
Granted,
yoink it
yeah.
off his body.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be carrying it the whole way, but actually, do you know what I
It's
can
just
do?
casually on you underneath
No.
the smuggler jacket.
There's a
In the
slight
it's
smattering
in the
of
crate
blood
now.
on the jacket, but you do know that to the right person, this is a collector's item. This is like
It'll wash out.
this is like selling the jacket that Evel Knievel died in.
Again, he'll have to take something out of the gut, but he can take it in. It'll be fine. We can recover this item. So it's in the jacket. It's in the box. The next person to go and grab one of the handcuffs will find a very nicely tailored jacket in there.
There's a few weighty items in the jacket now that you've picked it up, and there are 3 more bars of NutriPack Yellow.
They're in the cart. They're in the crate. Yeah.
Yep, and a small bag of glitter stim.
Oh yeah, that's also
1 dose.
Okay. And that brings me to 2 doses of glitter stim in my possession at this point then.
Your profit, baby.
Pure profit. Sure, profit. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But unless anyone else has got anything to do, I'm gonna head up.
I mean,
Head up the
I'm
maintenance
mostly
tree.
keeping a lookout in case while these 2 are looting. Or well, Chevron is looting.
yeah. I'm not looting. I'm just.
Okay.
Disappointed.
What?
That is what you are. Just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed in life.
So you get to the JT. You go up the ladder and undo the maintenance catch from the inside, and you come out in what seems to be a dead space between 2, a dead corridor between 2 rooms.
As quietly as possible.
Yep, as quietly as possible. At which point, I would like to ask you for a no diff, because it's versus. I would like you to give me a stealth check, please.
How's that?
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
I've dumped a lot of
sad
XP
now.
into this.
Yeah.
Katie is very good at a few things.
Okay. JT, the advantage that I'm going to give you is, and the fact that you succeeded so damned well, is that you hear a few things on this floor now that you're up here. The first is that there seems to be some machinery that's on. The first bit of machinery that you can tell is that on this floor is the power source for the space station, and from what you can tell, it seems to be that it is both running perfectly and locked down. You know it's locked down because the chamber that it's in, if it was open, you'd be able to hear it all over the floor. Whereas because on this floor, you know it's nearby, you can feel it from the vibration through the floor. The fact that you can't hear it at this distance means that the containment around it seems to be fine. Nobody seems to have bothered with it.
Good.
The other machinery you can tell is there's some sort of machinery coming from one part on this floor where you surmise from the signs that you can see that it's coming from the kitchens. And there's just a general kind of which is just machinery healthily going on. Doesn't seem to be imminently exploding or anything like that. Finally, you can hear, and this is the most important part, so I thought I'd get the rest out of the way first, is you can hear 2 people maniacally laughing and one person screaming, no, 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 no. And you have a feeling that they're on the other side of this floor. The floor in general is quite open plan. It's got just a network of corridors for ease of access for people who are rushing around being busy. Whereas you have a feeling on floors that are above here, you'll have a lot of partition doors and kind of them and us kind of areas. So areas where the servants are and areas where the celebrities are. Here, this is open and practical, and so the sound carries a lot more. It would probably take you a full turn of movement to get halfway across the station.
Okay. Well, JT will report this to everyone down below with very little emotion. Just the facts.
Sure.
Yeah, the
The
people.
one saying
Fighting.
no might not be as adult as the others. Do we try to save them?
I mean, yeah, that's why we're here.
Is it though?
We're here for Chevron's friend. The others are...
I mean, yes, we're here to save whoever we can, because we're not dicks.
Fair enough, my love. Fair enough. Let's go save them.
So should I go then?
JT, give me a quick perception check. Because I just realised there's more that you can get from this.
Oops. Any diff?
Diff 2.
Yay.
Yeah!
You can tell from the edge on the person's voice, even though they are screaming at the top of their voice, which tends to get rid of a lot of your accent, you manage to place them as Nemoidian.
Ooh.
That's what Kisa wanted.
No, he wanted a Deveronian.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Ixo was talking about Nemoidians at one point, but
Yeah, I remember the race for some reason.
Yeah, I put them on the screen. They were part of the Trade Federation in the episode 1.
Okay. Yeah. So with Nima saying, "This is why we're here. We should go save them." JT's going to take off in that direction.
Okay.
I'll use the jetpack to basically swish up the stairs and...
Oh, good God. Give me a piloting planetary diff 1. Thankfully, these are wide stairs. If it was the non-servant stairs, service stairs, it would be a diff 3.
I was literally about to say, let's go quickly but quietly, and then you were like, jetpack! Oh well.
JT's going quickly and quietly.
Okay. Victoria, give me a coordination check, please. Diff 2.
So she
Actually,
got
sorry,
two.
no.
She got
Yeah,
two
diff 2.
advantages. So is there? What does she get for that?
Two blues, basically.
Yeah.
The advantages are how she's going to tuck out of this.
Yes.
Right, so you go
Fine.
flying into a wall, and what you end up doing is pulling your body round at last minute and putting your feet out. You do slam against the wall, and the jetpack stops as you're doing that. But you've managed to do this with only gaining 1 strain, and that is
Yeah, that's fine.
that's the threat. You've gone up most of the stairs, though.
Yeah. I
It was
want
just that
to
curve
hurry
at
up.
the end. It was a
Walking
bit of
is
a bitch.
fine, dear.
They
Well-
were a little bit too narrow. Fuck. I need to get better at that.
I'm going to say that Victoria and JT are 2 turns away from the source of the screaming, and the rest of you are 3 turns.
Well, can we use essentially a dash, as it were, like then use our action? For
That's if you
movement?
full dash.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is if
okay.
you full dash. Yeah.
All right.
It's just assumed that if you're not fighting, you're dashing anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Which is
So
why jetpack.
Are you all going?
Someone needs to keep up with JT because I don't want him going into a fight alone.
That's fair. You
Because
were
he would.
willing to have an RTA over it. So yeah, if you'd failed your coordination check, that would have been a full RTA with a wall.
Should
Which
that
means
have
your
been an
jetpack could have
athletics
been
check and not
fun.
a coordination though?
What's that? Sorry.
Shouldn't it have been an athletics and not a coordination?
You're already strong enough to be able to plant your feet and push away from a wall. Coordination was you flipping yourself around.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. So yes, if you guys are pursuing, I'm gonna bring in first round JT and Victoria, and then the second round in I will do Nima and Chevron as well. I'm not going to do initiative yet because I want to see what you guys do. It may be that we don't go into initiative at all. And in fact, I'm going to try to make this initiative light this entire romp, otherwise it will descend into turns quite quickly.
Yeah.
So Victoria and JT, you run around a corner and you can see that a Gran and a Duros are picking up the poor Nemoidian, and they seem to be taking the Nemoidian, who's been beaten to hell and back. One eye has been completely popped. The body is bruised and broken. You can see that there's at least a very, very broken arm, and probably down to the equivalent of lead pipes that these two, that the Gran and the Duros have. And they're dragging the Nemoidian to what seems to be an open chute that leads into the waste furnace. So all of the waste that is generated here is incinerated down to carbon and shipped out as carbon blocks.
What range are we at?
Whichever range you would like to start at, because they are ignoring you and they cannot see you. They can't see you because they are currently dragging this poor Nemoidian, who seems to have put up a bit of a fight, even in the 2 rounds that you have done. They're dragging him along the floor. He's kicking and screaming, and between his screaming and the noise coming from the open hatch of the waste incinerator, they cannot hear you at all. You have the upper hand.
I will turn to Victoria and say, I'll dart one, you run and pull the other away from the Nemoidian.
Sure thing.
Bring out the pistol dart and load a knockout dart.
Sure. Okay, so your knockout dart, and I think this is a diff 4 dart for them to do. So give me a shot, and the range is what you choose it to be. So you decide.
It's short range because this can only shoot short range.
Sure enough. Okay, so go for it. I think that's going to be diff 1, isn't it?
Yeah. I am also going to take a maneuver to aim if I've got the time.
Of course, yes, you do.
Yeah, there we go.
So this dart only does, because of the nature of the dart, it only does a maximum of 1 damage, and so it does them damage, and then they need to do a diff 4 check. So this is a resilience check. Absolute failure, and with that many threats as well, which one shall it be? It can be the Duros. You watch as this.
Simon, was he meant to roll 2 reds? Like, did he not have anything to roll against that?
The roll was correct.
Okay.
This Duros slumps forward and just kind of face plants on the floor. The dart injects the toxin so quickly into its bloodstream that it goes down like an absolute sack of. So at that point, I'm assuming that as the shot is being fired, that Victoria is going for the charge.
Yep. Charge,
Okay.
grapple check-ish, and stamp him with the patch that makes the stem knock out.
It's not a patch, it's a stim pack. So it's like an injection, yeah? You can either go up and just stab him with it, or you can grapple then stab.
Grapple then stab, I think. Sounds more reasonable.
Yep, sounds good. Give me a brawl check, and it will be contested on his. So that's the difficulty is 1 red and 1 purple. Which for a Gran are stocky, but they're not known for their strength.
No.
You can, the second that your hand goes onto this Gran's body, it's like they've been pumping every muscle in their body.
Oh yeah.
But of course, you're hench as fuck. So you're there kind of like, someone's been working out, and you then presumably you slam the thing in. Yep, cool. In that case, they need to do another resilience check.
Sorry, I've just seen what Karen was talking about. That's 2 reds and 4 purples.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is for a contested thing. So sorry, let me just do that one again. So this is for the Duros. Yeah, okay, they still go down like a sack of shit. And this one is for the. Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize what you were saying there, Corinne. I was like, no, that's correct, and it was like, nope, it should have been 2.
Yes, I was like, I'm pretty sure that doesn't look right.
Sorry, the stats I've got here, sometimes they'll be reds if you're going against their some of their stats.
You're
and some
so
of them,
used to rolling the bad dice. So
I'm accustomed to rolling on your bad dice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep. Both of them go down. You now have 2 very unconscious I was about to say aliens, technically, that no one's an alien in this. Two very unconscious species, a Gran and a Duros. Both of them are currently lolling, and there's a kind of foaming spittle at the corner of their mouth, but that's about it. So I'll just bring up a quick mugshot. That's a Duros there, kind of like a grey, and a Gran we've seen before are these creatures with the three eyes, Ed's favourite Star Wars species, I think.
Such a good design. Love them. Neimoidian, how are they reacting?
With absolute fear.
Okay. As in, like, fleeing fear or paralyzing fear?
Paralyzing fear, looking at you gimlet-eyed, and wondering what you're about to do to it.
Okay, I will say, don't move. I'll bring out slap cuffs and put them on the unconscious ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the Neimoidian, as you're doing that, goes, "Are you CSA?"
No, we're independent.
"But you haven't taken anything."
I'm a droid.
We're here to
Good
help.
point. Sorry.
Me and Cham are coming in.
Yeah, you guys run in and you can see two people
just
spark out on the floor.
Turn
and-
the corner and JT and Victoria have handcuffed two guys and there's a person on the floor.
Yeah, bear in
But
mind that you arrive with X4 and an entourage of pit droids with a little
Yes.
box. Yeah, so it's
Could I request to make a coercion roll on this guy? Just
yes, you may.
put the fear of God in them.
It's more the fear of you, but yeah, sure. Diff
Who's Sam
1
Lockoff?
and 2 bonus dice.
Yeah, they're pretty scared already, I'm sure.
If 1, 2 bonus dice. Lovely. And that is upgraded twice for the next person to make a social check on them, because I've got bad cop.
Oh, yes, you do,
yes, you do. A time for Dima.
Bad cop rank 2. I can spend 2 advantages on a coercion check to upgrade twice the next social check on it.
Oh, is there also a good cop one? I can't remember now.
There is, and it's
Amazing.
Yeah, good cop.
I think
I've got 1 rank in good cop. I'm just bad at it.
He just doesn't care. He can be the bad cop. We have Nima and the Force.
Charm or negotiation is not my strong suit.
They are mine.
So, with the coercion check, the rest of the advantages I'm going to give the fact that the Neimoidian looks down at their clothes, and they look at you and kind of look at the clothes, then look at you, look at you, look at the clothes, then look back at you, almost kind of willing you to notice what you do indeed notice, and that is that this Neimoidian was a croupier,
A what?
someone who works in a casino.
Ah!
And
Thank
you know, he's kind of hoping that you'll notice he was a member of staff and doesn't seem to show any of the violence or mania that the other two are.
Yeah, when everyone else has arrived here, I basically start ignoring the Neimoidian, just keeping a swivel.
Yeah. I will approach the Nobian. Are you right?
I am now. I'm who are you?
Here, friends to
Independent.
help. Friends to help.
Did the management send you?
No, we got a distress
As
call.
if.
Oh, force be praised. I how can I get to safety to your ship?
We'll direct him, I guess, because there's
It's
people-
currently undocked.
It's currently on dock, yeah.
I
Isn't
think
it?
it's best if you stay here for now. We've cleared this deck out.
We're
Okay.
We're being
I'm
very
Working
careful.
our way upwards.
Do you know what happened?
They went crazy. In the course of, it must have been no more than 4 hours. They were enjoying a recent shipment of delicacies, and we saw an upsurge of spending on the cube. So the management were actively
Encouraging it?
encouraging it. Certainly at the tables, I've had some of the largest bets that I've ever seen placed, and they were stupid, reckless bets. Then came the arguments. They started off just being petty, what we would expect from celebrities. But then after that, it was crazed, violent. I had sabat cards thrown at me, betting chips and other paraphernalia thrown at me. They flipping the table, some of them that were already secured to the floor. And, well, fights broke out regularly. The security staff as well were, sometimes they were the antagonists.
We've gotten reports that Emerald, the mythical drug called Emerald Road has been recently partaken in by these.
I wasn't part of any of it.
No.
Well, that's obvious. You're still sane.
Yes.
I didn't take it. I didn't trade it. I was just doing my job, as with so many of the people here who are now dead.
Yes.
Droids as well. Some of them good friends of mine.
I'm really sorry. We got here as fast as we could. It was one of the clients that is good friends of one of ours that called in for help. Not very coherent, but we came here as fast as we could.
Oh, which client would that be, if I may ask?
That's up to my friend here to divulge, if he wants to divulge that.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, my God, what a difference between Nima and Eclipse. Eclipse would be like, oh, it was this person.
One Lars Grant.
Sometimes you just wish
Lars
Eclipse could keep her mouth shut, but no,
Plays the character
never.
well, that's all I have to say.
Lies Cran, yes, as Sharon said.
Lias is still alive?
As far as
It
we
was when
heard,
we talked
last
to
time
him.
we
Must be
heard.
praised. Well, if you see him, give him this. And he hands you a... sorry, not he, they. Give you a... what seems to be a small inhaler.
What's that?
It's used for detoxing. Depending on how far in he is, he might need it. If he's in the middle of withdrawal symptoms, many of us carry them on us just in case one of our celebrities gives into excess. You may need it.
Have you tried... Do you know if it's worked on people that have gone crazy?
No, it won't work on Emerald Road. But if he is coherent enough to summon you, maybe he didn't take it.
Yeah.
This should be able to counteract the anything else that he might be on.
Yeah.
Lias is one of the most indulgent members of our clientele.
Yes, we know him.
He kind of gives you a knowing
Unfortunately.
nod, and you can see he has an open fracture on his arm that he's currently holding.
Yes.
I
will...
One moment, Nima.
Sorry, they are holding.
Nima, I would just sort of beckon Nima over into a quiet corner, and I was like, look, we're here for liars, but I guess I feel a little bit bad for these people, but we can't let them on the ship, can we? I mean, you know...
this...
To be
we have some of the... We got guys around the ship, and we got clarity, so he won't be able to access any systems, and if we just tell him to stay in one place...
we blow the cover, Nala will never forgive us. Maybe we could bring Geezer onto this ship. Maybe set up something down in the Nerf
Or
Bay.
you set up so that all of these survivors can go on to Liar's ship once we are done here.
I mean, yeah,
They
if we
won't
can get
go onto
Liar's ship
our
to
ship.
dock and be able to take some of the passengers.
We'll have to take the ship first. There were combatants aboard.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Should be easy enough.
if
Yes,
you just tell them to
once-
go into the cargo bay and not go anywhere else, if they are go and because I'm pretty sure that Clarity can seal off any other areas so people can't go anywhere other than Cargo Bay.
I'll go to the preserved goods store. I should be able to lock the door from the inside there. And, well, it'll give me enough supplies to be able to stay there, and I should be able to pack this. And points at their arm with some pulses and grains.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you, if you wanted me to have a quick look at that, I'm not that great, but yeah, I'm happy to help.
They offer the arm to you. You can see that this is a critical injury that needs stabilizing, and you think you could probably stabilize this injury at a diff 3.
Okay, it's a diff 3. Probably not. I'm better to get guys to do it than me poking in it. That's a bit beyond my ability, but we do have a medical droid on our ship that we should be able to call down to have a good look at it.
Oh, okay. I'll get myself down to remember, preserve goods store. And you can see that this Nemoidian is quite intelligent and goes, you may have to send others my way. I should give you a password.
Beat me to it.
Tell them to tell me that the house has lost. And you can see there's a kind of a grim smile on their face as they say that.
Yeah.
And I'll just ask him, and how's your good hand?
Currently holding up the bad arm, but otherwise well.
You shoot with it?
There's kind of a terrified look on the Nemoidian's face, and then a resigned look, and goes, yes I can.
I will reach in and give him my holdout blaster. Well, actually, it's not a holdout, it's just a full-on blaster, but it's from one of the many deep pockets of the jacket appears my cached blaster, my third spare blaster that I will hand over to him and say,
okay.
If the house, if the house hasn't lost, use this.
Maybe we'll win after all. Takes the blaster, puts it into a kind of pocket, and then kind of cradles the arm. Takes a moment to consider, and goes. Puts their hand on your shoulder, Paul, and goes, "May the force be with you." At which point, I would like two things to happen. First of all, I would like Paul make me a perception check at diff 3, but also I would like Nima to make the same check, but only Nima.
What diff? Same diff or?
Same diff 3.
Perception diff 3.
All dice have cancelled out.
Blankety blank.
Yeah, this person's being a bit sentimental, Chevron.
I'll make my own luck, it's alright.
Don't believe in religion.
Exactly.
Nima, you see a sudden, you feel a sudden shift in the force as the Nemoidian touches Chevron's shoulder. Chevron, you can upgrade the check of your choice whenever you want. Chevron will not be doing it consciously, but the Nemoidian has an ability to manipulate luck using the force.
That's what we see.
And
Wow.
I will respond, noticing this, I will respond and may the force be with you, and somehow just project force energy at them to just kind of let them know I know.
They're ignorant and can't detect anything through the pain. But Nima, you have noticed that there was a shift in the force the second that the Nemoidian touched Chevron.
Can I attempt to ease the pain, essentially with their mindset, by influencing them and making them feel less heightened? And
you can affect emotions, can't you?
yeah.
Yeah, that would be an affect emotion.
Yeah. So I just roll my force dice and hope I get I hope I get a white. I do not. I cannot.
Nope.
Nope.
As you reach out, all you can feel is pain.
Yeah.
The dark side of the force reaches out to you and says that you can use the pain. You can. make yourself and make others stronger with the pain. Pain is good. With pain comes awareness, comes passion, comes drive, and you can feel the taste on your lips almost of the dark side of the Force calling to you.
There is no peace, only passion.
And you, and exactly, there's no peace. And because this is a destruction of peace, the dark side calls out to you the second that you try to connect with this, and you just deny it.
Yeah.
You refuse to.
Nope.
Nope.
Not today.
If you'd rolled that and your intention was to make the Nemoidian more angry and more willing to fight,
Then yes.
the dark side of the Force would have absolutely helped you there.
Yeah. But
I do like how affect emotions works, where it's not a case of success failure. It's a case of success in this direction or success in this direction. If you did not intend to go in that direction, no.
I also quite like the way that the Force dice is weighted,
Yeah, it is.
because there's the same number of pips I think with black and light, but the black one is more concentrated, so you tend to get more bang out of the dark side if it comes up, I think.
Yeah. The dark side is more tempting.
Yeah, and there are more dark side. I think because there are four white ones and 6 black ones on the dice.
On a D12.
Yeah, on the D12. Yeah. I think Ed is checking it now.
I'm looking for it.
7 black,
Yeah, 7 black,
5 white.
5 white. Yeah.
But you're more likely to get a double white
I see it.
than a double black.
Yeah.
While this has been going on,
Much dice.
JT's been taking samples.
Sure. You get the samples. The frothing at the mouth seems to be slowly effervescing. So just even though they're dead now and they're not, sorry, these aren't dead. These are unconscious.
They're not dead.
Even though they're breathing shallowly, they're
Thank you so much for the follow.
Oh, thank you. The bubbles that come at the mouth just seem to be just that little more. It seems to be a little too frothy. That's what I'll give you just from a quick glance.
And could I ask for sexes of these, just for notes?
Yes. So the Gran...
Sorry, I'm going to be asking this about all the samples I take.
Yeah, the Gran is male, and the Juros is female.
Just make sure we're getting a full range of everything.
Full scientific study of everyone. I love it.
Yep, we're doing it good. Now let's carry on. I guess we're gonna go up another pair of stairs. Do you want to
And this
scout
time,
ahead
walk,
again, JT?
darling. Walk.
Do we
You
know-
don't need
do
to
we-
fly up the stairs.
You're the one who's told us not to let JT go into fights alone.
Yes.
It's better that I was right next.
Let's try
So
quickly
that
but quietly,
stairway
maybe.
was slightly too small for the backpack.
Can I have a perception check at diff 3 for everybody as you are going back towards the stairs?
Wait a mess.
Do not expect miracles out of me.
Oh, JT hears it. Victoria
Just
doesn't.
fuck don't.
Chevron does. Cool. So, I mean,
and
you
me.
guys hear it, but you only really needed one to succeed. But, sometimes you all hear
Whee!
that. So 3 of you definitely hear it. Victoria, the blood is still pumping in your ears from the suddenness of the previous fight. You can hear someone softly weeping. Seems to be coming from the kitchen.
Ooh. Might be good to check that out.
Check what out?
There's someone's crying in the kitchen.
Oh.
I'm keeping the
JT,
pistol
can you-
readied.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Smart
best a
place
bit
to hide
quiet
out,
of
I
JT.
suppose. Close to the food.
Sorry, Chevron, did you want me to go ahead and have a quiet look?
quiet and careful, and if you've any doubts, just put them to sleep.
Also, hi Aura. Sorry, got lost.
I will do so. I will try and sneak and get a vantage on the kitchen.
Okay. Right, so in this case, I'm just going to give you a straight diff this time. So the diff for this person is going to be yellow, a red, and 2 purple. There you go, I'm converting them now.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Not only do you sneaking unnoticed, but you manage to get a decent enough approach that as your Safari Droid Stalker protocols go into place, and you're placing down your feet, even with your increased size and structure, you're placing them down perfectly, no sound whatsoever. You hunker down so that effectively, and for anybody who'd be watching this, is pretty damn impressive. You hunker down almost to the point where you're almost like Velociraptor in your movements. You know, the way that your legs are going along. You're keeping yourself as low as possible, almost as low as the countertops here. You can see that this kitchen has been used for some pretty nasty shit. There's a few corpses around the place where they've been cut up by meat cleavers and various other bits and pieces. You can see that one corpse on the floor, which is a... Womprats, don't fail me now. A Gand, so this insectoid creature has had its head placed into what seems like a large boiling vat, where you can see that they would have boiled vegetables and meats and things like that in there, and it's lying on the floor. Its head a different color to the rest of its body, where it's obviously been held in there, and it's died by having its head boiled. Looking at this Gand doesn't breathe. It's the type of Gand that doesn't breathe at all. Well, kind of does it through cilia on its back, and so it doesn't breathe traditionally. So it didn't suffocate to death or drown. They pretty much just held it in there until its head boiled. Very, very nasty.
Oh, that is horrible.
It is a horrible way to die. There's actually there's a BBC show called Spooks, which I think out of every scene I've ever seen in any film or any TV show, it has the worst death scene I've ever seen, where somebody put somebody's head into a deep fat fryer, and it still haunts me to this day. The Gand died pretty nastily. You can see that this is incredibly feral, completely devoid of any empathy. To be able to do this for a prolonged period of time, you're starting to really worry about the psychology of this. And with your extra advantages, you can see that you're stalking up to a Marillion. And I'll bring it up again because I think the Marillions are beautiful. This is a Marillion. The Marillion that you can see in front of you seems to have some sort of non-binary appearance, and you can see that they are bright red-eyed and weeping, staring at one of the ovens, and just absolutely beside themselves. They've tucked themselves. With the kind of aluminium tables that you get in kitchens, they normally have a shelf on the underside of them. They have managed to tuck themselves in under that, onto that shelf, making themselves as difficult to see as possible. But with all of your advantages, I'm just giving it to you that you managed to get the right angle to see them. On top of that, I will give you an extra roll. And that is, I will give you either a streetwise or a medicine check. The diff in this case is going to be, I'm going to give it 2 because it's going to be a generalized result if you get it.
Yeah, my question was going to be, are we seeing the Emerald Road? And I presume this is what this roll is.
Yes.
Nope, no idea.
They've been crying really, really hard and have big red rings around their eyes.
How sturdy do I think they are?
They seem to be quite slight, and they are wearing reasonably revealing clothing.
I'm going to bring out my backup blaster carbine.
Mhm.
I'm going to switch it to stun and auto fire, and I'm going to try and take them out.
Okay. Go for it. You can hit them at short range. Yeah, sure.
And take them.
It's quite a large open plan kitchen, but you managed to get a good angle. Based on your stealth roll, you get the approach.
And taking some time to aim. Lovely. That's 2 extra hits. So that is total 11 damage 3 times.
11 damage 3 times, stun, which means it goes to strain, and you pretty much just open what is effectively opening the clip of this on
This
stun.
is the rotating barrel.
Yeah, and yeah, they convulse a little bit as this sheer amount of stun bolts go into their body, and they kind of flop out like a fish onto the floor.
Message to everyone: neutralized.
Okay.
Good.
Oh, head in.
Okay. You go inside and you can see that I was very deliberate in describing this person to JT. JT hasn't got a huge amount of experience of this, but the second that Chevron walks in, you can see that this is quite clearly a sex worker.
Mm.
And they are sprawled on the floor. Very beautiful, very well dressed. Currently twitching because of the 33 points of stun energy that's gone through them.
It only needed one, didn't it? It needed one of those shots to do the job.
He only needed one, yeah. He only needed one, and with all the shots that have gone through them, they're probably not going to be feeling their appendages for a few days. That's a lot of stun. That's like mega
JT
taser.
is thorough.
yeah.
Yes. He
So
does
look-
his job.
Look between the person and JT, like, good job, JT.
She should be alive.
Did you know if she was under the effect?
I don't know. I didn't want to take the risk.
Fair enough.
Chevron, give me a Streetwise diff 2.
Okay, I think that's that when it was just me.
And they look alive. Corpses generally stiffen up. They're still twitching.
JT's busying himself taking samples from everything that's organic.
Sure, I'm not going to
Fair.
give you the full list, but you get a.
I'll
give you the result now, Chef.
very morbid, Gand head, and then seeing that she was in front of the oven, I do want to check what is in the oven.
Okay. So for JT first, JT, you can see that. Go on, because it's the one prac table and it gives it to me with a click of a button. Get ready to write a load of shit down. You have now got samples from the dead male Jawa pastry chef. You have one from the female Gungan sous chef. You have one from the and here we go, the hut. The hut main chef, so head chef, and then the other kitchen staff. That's right. And then the huts choose when they breed, I think.
Yeah.
And they are a matriarchy, I believe. Well, they're considered to be a matriarchy because, reasons. Then having to suddenly pull up all my hut
Huts are
lore.
weird. Just shoot every single one of them.
Well, this hut got a blaster at point blank range to the head.
Good.
And
I hate huts.
this hut was about cuisine.
I don't care.
This was a hut
If I
outcast.
have the choice to kill a hut in a game, I will do it. I don't care about
It
dogs.
wasn't even a very big hut.
I will kill them.
Then after that, there is a Duros female, a Droll female, Nemoidian male, and Droll female. That were the remaining kitchen staff that were in here at the time. And then you can see in the in the oven, Nima, you can see a bloody handprint that has been baked onto the window of the oven, and inside, curled up in a fetal position, is a low and slow roasted biff.
Oh god! Ew.
Does it smell delicious when you open the oven?
No.
gonna-
Luckily, we have our breeder masks.
Yes, we do. We have our masks on.
The question is, does Nima have the resilience not to puke when she sees it?
I mean, that depends. Does Simon want me to do a check, or is he alright?
Resilience diff 1.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I think my resilience is 1. 'Cause-
How players can screw over other players by suggesting courses of action.
I wouldn't know anything about that at all.
no.
Yep, Nima performs the flight of the Chunderbird, and narrowly missing the poor Marillion, who is still twitching on the floor. And
do I vomit in my breathing mask? What is that?
oh my god! I'm going to say that if you want, you can kind of pull the mask off in time.
Yeah.
Quickly replacing it as quickly as possible after you've managed to vomit it. You've now got an unconscious Marillion.
Right, now we
Which
need to
of
get
these
this back.
chaperoned?
We need to put them somewhere safe.
Well, I'm asking Chevron which of these are under the influence. Because there was a roll made earlier.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, there was. Yes, I
Oh
succeeded.
yes, Chevron. Yeah, the Marillion, they have been on something. You can just see looking at the eyes, looking at a tinge on the lips. You don't know what they took, but they took something.
Okay, but she's alive. She's yeah. I'd say definitely worth a sample and definitely worth some cuffs as well.
My notes are getting a complicated key now for people we know, people we don't know, and people we sure haven't.
Symbols and everything, man after my own heart.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Oh, you're writing it in you're
data
writing it
set.
there.
We're going to
not
write
in
a paper
the...
about this at the end. It's going to be a beautiful graph.
I suppose we could carry them down to the place.
I don't want.
Oh?
Yeah?
Sleepy.
That long?
Sleepy.
Is it Sleepy
I don't
that
want-
came with you?
Oh, we got
Oh,
Sneezy
Betty.
with us.
Sneezy, etc.
We want these.
Well,
Or
one
Happy
of
Dot
the
or
pit
Sneezy.
One of the pit droids turns around and says, "We can drag them back."
Oh, yes, that might be a good idea, and then you can get back to us quickly as well. What do you think?
They're only talking to JT.
Oh, yes. Fine.
They're only
They talk
talking
in
to
binary
their
to
dad,
JT.
okay?
Do you want her somewhere safe? I wouldn't put her in with the Nomoidian just in case. We never got his name. Sorry, their name.
And it says we can put them in the cleaning cupboard.
Really good as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
And you watch as they unceremoniously drag these poor handcuffed individuals.
Well, there's only one person there, isn't it? That is.
There's
No,
two more
there's
next door,
three
aren't there?
you've done so far.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The other ones, yeah, the other ones. We're just gonna cram them
You've
into
already
the cleaning
stunned
cupboard.
a Duros, a Gran, and a Marillion. Yeah, so they're dragging all three of them unceremoniously by their feet.
They all
having
get
to set down your crate for a while.
Stuffed in the cupboard.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's a bit of
just
bubbida
remember we need to
as they're
grab
going
them
down
on the way
the
out.
stairs. But they take them down to floor 1, unceremoniously dragging them down the stairs and throw them in the big cleaning cupboard.
I'm going to instruct them to, with the cuffs, to cuff them to separate poles so they are separate from each other so they can't reach each other.
They take some extra cuffs and cuff the cuffs to the
Good.
to,
Yes.
to different poles and fixtures and God knows what
Feet
else.
as well, if possible.
and they will catch back up with you. For story purposes, we won't
Later.
worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be back for when you need them, basically.
Yeah, minor retcon. I did mean to ask if the Nemoidian, if they had a better bead on where Lars was in the cube. As if we have a better, rather than
that's
floor
a vigilance
5
check to go
plus.
back in
Yeah.
time.
Oh, Mr. Gran is up on floor 11.
All right, there we go.
Well, let's work our way up then, shall we?
Thank you once again. And I'll say that the Nemoidian, they show the pit droids where to stash the other bodies.
Nice.
No, unconscious bodies.
Just cram them into the cleaning cupboard.
Somewhere where they can't harm anyone for now.
By the way, Simon, should we go for a break?
Oh wow, yeah, it's 10 o'clock already. Yep, let's go for a quick break, and we will see you all in 10 minutes' time.
See you very soon.
And welcome back, everybody. When we left off, the guys had managed to get to floor 2 of the cube, but they did find out that Lias Grant has his apartments on the 11th floor. So, players, now you know where Lias is, and you have sent 3 unconscious bodies and 1 wounded, but otherwise okay, Nemoidian, down into the depths. To be picked up later on. What would you like to do?
The question is, do we want to fine comb every floor or just hightail up to where the liars are so we can grab him?
I mean, getting
We know Liars is in peril, so I'm tempted to make a beeline for our compatriot.
Yeah, to find out where he's doing, and once we got him safe, we can worry about the rest of them.
Sounds like a plan then. Let's go up.
Okay. So as you climb the various flights of stairs, mostly when you're on the lower levels 1 to 4, you notice that the stair opens up into a mostly open plan area.
Is there an elevator? Is there an elevator?
There is an elevator, yep. You can take the service elevator up to floor 4.
Can't retreat in an elevator. Stairs are the way to go.
If you want to go for stairs, let's go for stairs. Flashback
I don't
to
mind
Final
stairs.
Fantasy 7.
It's all about, well, how many stairs you two can take.
I think I can climb
I can climb stairs, that's fine.
9 flights of
Can you?
stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we're about to find out.
With everything that you've done, you're not that out of shape. So yeah, I mean, if any of you are injured, maybe I'd say, well, you'll need a roll, but no, I wouldn't give you a roll on this one. As you go up, you can hear that there are things going on these floors. General fights and things like that that are breaking out. In some, you can hear just the fighting is more arguing. When you get past 4th floor, when you get past floor 4, the stairs open up into an area that is separated by some doors. So you don't really hear anything on the side of those doors. I would like, and again, it's a chevron-based thing at the moment. So Chevron, give me Paul, give me a single force dice, please.
Oh, God.
Good luck.
Not again. Please roll well.
Okay.
Dark side.
It's weighted towards the dark side. So.
As you are going up the stairs, you can hear over a tannoy. Who's that? And a tannoy goes out that you can hear that goes all the way down the stairwell. We've got visitors. I'm pretty sure they weren't here when this started. And
Interesting.
The music is
you can hear it coming over the tannoy. You don't know where it came from.
It doesn't
Tannoy, as
sound
in the
adult.
speakers?
Speakers, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just to be clear, so we're going up the stairs, but no longer are the stairwells open to the floor. There's doors essentially now. So.
There's doors, so no one can see you going up the stairs. But then, as you're going up, someone who can see you maybe on the CCTV, not that you've seen any CCTV, suddenly just says what they said.
Is there a scomp connection anywhere?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, X4, can you find out where this came from? Whistle, whistle.
I assume that means an affirmative.
Yeah, sorry, I was clicking this in. And on your readouts, X4 says, sure, I'll get A2 to help me. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh boy.
And this is why you should bring on more missions.
Yeah, that's why you bring your astromech. Yeah, so X4 turns to you and says, apparently one of the security guards is still monitoring the inside of the stairwells.
Right.
The fact that he doesn't sound
Or can you shut him out?
He didn't sound.
X4
adult
turns
like the
around
others.
and kind of goes in a way that R2D2 does when he's either swearing or just being angry.
I can't believe they've written a
And
children's film, man. Anyway.
again, on your
Disney.
readout or on your comlink, X4 basically says, "You think I haven't done it already?" That was the triumph. The triumph is
Okay.
This security guard is blind now.
Okay. If they can't see us, we need to be
Lovely.
not here anymore. And I would suggest we just
Shuffle along. Yeah.
yeah, well, double time it now
Yeah.
up the stairs. But it looks like he's got something to suggest.
I do want to find out if they've partaken or not, or if they're just actual security.
Would you like to speak to them?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, let's do that.
Patching you in now.
Uh-oh.
And your com link or your com circuit, depending on what who you are, suddenly gains a new contact, and it just says cube security, and then it's a serial number afterwards.
Yeah.
Have you partaken?
So yeah,
Straight to the point.
You activate it. Who's this?
Friends.
This is an independent crew looking to save our client. Have you partaken?
If your client's here, you should be outside in a ship. However, you can join me in getting this place back into shape.
That was
This is
an
if you had to put money on who this is, it's a Gamorrean.
Yes. Have you taken
was-
the drug?
What do you take me for? I'm a professional.
This is such an ominous laugh that I don't believe you.
I'm just happy.
Why are you happy?
Good employment. And, well, you're here to help us now, aren't you?
Who do you work for?
Management.
Which management?
They're here in the cube.
Cube management or management from outside the cube that is currently in the cube?
The cube management that own the cube. Some inside, some outside investors that I am not party to, being a humble security guard.
And what
Do you have
actions have you been
security
doing
clearance
to...
to be able to unlock any doors we come in contact with then?
Sure, but you have to come to me. I don't want you walking into any of our clients who might be scared.
Scared?
Come on, let's team up, you and I.
You...
You must have some idea of what's going on here, right?
Oh, it's a terrible state. Terrible state. Just, I don't know what's got into everybody. Such violence. Such depravity. And they're not even paying for it.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
really
definitely
like to
getting
believe
off
you.
on this.
Yes. Have you... Do you know how it got into this state?
I would say that someone has smuggled some sort of illicit substance past our otherwise very stringent security patrols, and it looks like they poisoned some of our men, being that some of the security personnel seem to be compromised. In fact, I haven't been able to find another one other than me who is able to hold it together.
Surely you must have your
Right.
suspicions as to who... Sorry, Ed. You must have your suspicions as to who's behind all this.
I believe a rival facility poisoned maybe the food, maybe the water, being that, as I say, the security team here are professionals, train most of them myself. So, I would say it's some sort of sabotage.
X4, do we know where this guy is?
Looking for him now.
We've,
And what sort of help
we've
would
got
you have us-
reports that the people that are currently getting rowdy have partaken in something called the Emerald Road.
You get a report back, JT, saying floor 9 and pinpoints the security station that's there. And it's floor 9
It's on the way then.
this guy is on. And sorry, what was it that you said, Nima?
I asked. I said that we've gotten reports that the reason why people have gotten this rowdy is because they've partaken of something called the Emerald Road.
Really? That's terrible. You don't say. Again, I would say that they
Can I
probably
make an insight check on this guy?
poisoned. Emerald Road is just a myth after all.
Right. Can
I
make
would say that is slander. Be sure you don't spread it amongst any news reports.
We're not here to. We're not media. Can I make a insight check on this guy?
Yeah, sure. Insight in this case is it's a deception versus discipline. Give me
discipline.
a...
I think they would be mad if I stabbed one person at least, instead of just stunning them.
Corinne, what's your discipline?
My discipline is 1 yellow and 1 green. Actually, I just realized it's willpower, but I do have 1 red.
That's pretty good.
I'm guessing she can't borrow from me.
So,
well, he's
no.
against all of you, so he kind of has...
You guys can all hear, yeah. So, actually, what's your discipline?
I have will 3 and discipline 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got to compare that to his thing.
Yeah.
But yes,
That was all reds again.
even with that, because the despair is in there. You fought with Gamorreans in the past, Victoria. You know that they are lazy. Well, some of them are lazy. Some of them are very bestial and focused. This one here is just fucking with you. He's just fucking with you. And pretty much everything he's saying is a lie.
Yeah.
He's lying, love. The bastard is probably just trying to steer us away from the target.
Yeah, say.
As I said, I'm perfectly willing to stab him if we do go there.
I think we can leave him for now. It's fine. We'll just be perfectly polite and let him know.
X4, can you ask Astromik to lock him into that office?
X4 comes back and says, "No can do. That thing is a panic room. It can be unlocked manually from the inside."
And I wonder how we could be of assistance to you.
What is the despair, by the way, Simon? It's
that was the despair.
Okay.
That was the despair.
The despair was that it wasn't just a pass. The despair was a absolute super pass. She just no doubt whatsoever. She knows this guy's not just that he's lying, but that he is actively fucking with you.
Yeah.
And so Chevron, when you ask him what can we do, we'll join forces, of course.
Right, we will see you later. Thank you so very much.
Why don't we come and meet you?
Yes, we'll come and meet you.
Of course. Floor 9. Come to the security office there. As you come out of the stairwell, hang a left, second right.
Thank you so much. We would love to see you later. Goodbye.
See you soon.
And let's just leave him and let's move on.
He's got no cameras, though.
Yeah, he's got no cameras anymore, so...
Nope.
And we're not giving them back.
Nope.
Nope.
From when we located him, is he where he... Did he just tell us actually where he is?
Yeah, he just told you exactly where he was.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah,
we will leave
he was not all right.
Ambush
with that.
times, TM.
Well, we don't need to bother with him because he's just a random dude. So let's go.
Oh, I love that you don't have a entirely straight and narrow moral compass in these circumstances.
Okay.
I mean, Nima's meant to be the moral compass of the group.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I
We
mean,
all have relative codes, sure, but Nima's the only one that can be in anything approximating good.
Yes.
yeah, she's because she's supposed to be at least aligned with the the light side of the force, like not evil.
Anyway, floor 11 then, everyone. Yes, we're gonna just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Yes. Floor 11.
Okay.
JT's going a little bit ahead just to do the scout and make sure we're not falling into a trap.
Okay.
Yep.
You are in the stairwell for floor 11.
Right. Let's
Lovely.
open the door.
Okay. You open the double doors, and beyond there is a set of lush surroundings. What seems to be a central vestibule, it's got beautiful exotic plants. There seems to be like a chill out area in the middle. And it's that you can only just see it. You can, as you open up the double doors, there's a corridor, and then this kind of chill out spot is at the end. There are dead bodies in the corridor. You can see that there are dead bodies strewn about the chill out area. But you can also see that there is a small map in front of you that has directions to the different apartments. And you can see that El Gran is definitely one of them. And it seems like a fairly straightforward path. You've got two paths. One of them goes through the central vestibule, and the other one kind of dog legs around.
Well, JT, which way do you think is the smartest one?
I would recommend avoiding the central open area just for vantage purposes.
It does seem to be the most obvious tactical error to go into a place where you can be seen by every apartment.
Yep. Well, then let's go around and is his on the other side of the facility to us, or is it closer to go left or right?
It's closer to go to the left. So, it's not on the other side of this floor, but it seems to be like, I wouldn't call them blocks, but there's like 4 apartments away if you keep bearing around to the left.
Right.
Ed actually headed me off at the pass. I was going to ask for a party order. So JT's first. Who's after him?
Do you
was gonna
want
stick my
me
head
off you or in the rear?
I'd say Victoria in the back. And
Yeah.
Chevron and Nima in the middle, possibly. Pit droids in the middle.
Yeah, Chevron, Nima, and the pit droids in the middle.
I was going to just follow behind JT.
Okay. So who was after JT, sorry?
Chevron.
Chevron. Okay. I want everybody to roll initiative for me, but it's for a slightly different reason.
Okay.
Right.
So let's see. That is with Billets.
Okay. So I only have 0-1.
It's,
3-1.
well, I'm tempted to do my strain trick. Is it that kind of check, Simon? Have you seen me?
You won't need to. To
Okay.
play fair, you won't need to.
Cool.
Yeah, just do it anyway, just so that I know.
Good.
Yep, cool. For Nemo, it doesn't really matter. To tell you the truth, we didn't even need Victoria to roll. So, yeah. JT, you are going along very... in the same way that you would guide people through a jungle. You're going... It seems strange that you're operating the same protocol that you would normally do to go through a dungeon, but you're going through like beautifully veloured corridors with a beautiful sense. There's music coming out of very gentle, very light music coming out of speakers, and you're just about to walk past one of the apartments. The door's open, but there's been a few that's been open and you've kind of tracked. At first glance, there wouldn't be anybody in there, and then suddenly a familiar woo makes you push Chevron back. Chevron kind of gets what you're on about and pushes back again. He pushes onto Nima and the droids. The droids just kind of bash into his shins a bit, but Nima's fast enough that she stops, and then Victoria kind of immediately takes a battle stance as a very familiar rapid-fire blast comes out of a door and peppers the corridor, blasting it to shit where you were about to stand. And you can hear a perception check. Actually, all of you can do that. Anybody who would like to, give me a perception check for difficulty.
Yana. Miracles can happen, but perception ain't one of them.
And I will bring up the mugshot.
Yep.
That's it, because I put them.
I rely on Nima telling me where things I need to stab are.
Stabbing is in that direction.
So Chevron, Nima, JT, all three of you have heard this strange gurgling laugh before from various experiences, and you know that this is a Chevin. Again, one of my favorite Star Wars races.
Is that Space Otter?
No.
Long elephantine.
No. Oh, it's
short,
that one.
Stumpy creatures.
Oh God, I hate those.
And the person who just shot at you is a Chevin.
We're friends.
Well,
He
Friends!
laughed, so I'm gonna assume he is not a friend.
He might be confused. He might be like.
When you say we're friends, you can hear the wall next to you from where you made the sound gets blasted with auto fire.
Okay, he's not
I'm
friends.
gonna take a Glock grenade and chuck it in.
Sure. Give me a because it's a blind fire.
It is.
I'm going to say that the diff on this one is going to be 3.
Ranged light.
Come on, JT, you're good at things like this.
Yes, we believe
I'm
in
just
you,
trying to find
JT.
the notes on what it actually does. We've got Disorient 3 and Snare 6.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey!
Wow.
You can hear a Chevin who is suffocating.
Oh dear.
I am going to run in are we in initiative or not? Really?
No, narrative only.
I'm going to run in with the sniper rifle, just on stun, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
A couple of heavy shots.
Don't bother rolling. This guy was prone, immobilized. You can see that this Chevin, both of his legs, he's got stumpy little legs, but both of his legs have swelled to the point of being almost like space hoppers. He can't walk using them. You can see that they're inflamed, incredibly inflamed. He has got a complicated auto-firing weapon that looks like a light-repeating blaster. It may have had some modifications done to it.
Nice the noise.
And that's what he was firing. You can see at the moment that the light-repeating blaster has been stuck to the couch that he's on. The couch is covered in feces and bits of half-eaten food. The Chevin was still maniacally laughing when you threw the Glock grenade in, and a large amount of the adhesive has gone into his mouth. He's currently suffocating. He's choking.
Let's get us out.
and you have stunned him now, so he's unconscious and suffocating. I don't know how that works, but that works.
Yes, I'm gonna get the goop out of his mouth so he can breathe.
Sure. You reach into this foul mouth. I mean, the Chevin aren't exactly the nicest of creatures anyway. This guy it smells like you're putting your hand in food garbage as you're pulling out this adhesive and having to rip it from him. Give me Oh, you made me happy. Give me an athletics check at diff 4.
Oh no, I can't do that. I will help. I will
You have to do it because you said you were
said
putting
it.
your hand
Do
in
it.
and doing it.
Yeah, you said you would do it.
And while this is happening, slap cuffs.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. He's his hands are very, very large. You're probably
Did you
gonna have
say
to put a
diff
few of them
4?
together. Yeah, diff 4.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. So, Victoria, you watch as your very helpful wife reaches into the mouth, this giant gaping elephantine mouth of the Chevin, and is now stuck. She's stuck up to the forearm in this Chevin's mouth.
I will pull her out of it.
Sure, no roll required with your brawn. You tear.
Don't stick your arms into sticky goop.
Yes, but help him.
By ripping your arm out, she also rips out the glue.
Okay.
To the point where a lot of the glue is still on your arm.
Now let's get that cleaned off. I think we have some
wax.
dissolvent in case of misfire.
Being confident that Victoria was going to handle it, I've taken at least 1 or 2 photos of this hilarious situation.
Yeah.
Blooper reel, gotta have it. So yeah, you Chevron, give me either a streetwise or an intelligence underworld check.
Keldiff.
Diff for you would only be 3.
Only 3. All right.
Only.
For anybody else, this would be a 5.
All right. Wowzer. Let me just double check I'm doing the right thing.
Because background is key with this one.
Oh, is he another?
Oh,
sorcerer?
great.
Got it.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Chevron, play this correctly, and this could go very well for you. The being in front of you is Shakpol Bess. Shakpol Bess is quite possibly one of the most genius quasi-legal businessmen in the galaxy. Connected to celebrity and the powerful governors of many planets. It's said he owns several moons himself and a fleet of ships, mostly industrial, but also with couriers and other such things as well. This guy is, and just looking at the lavish clothes and things like that, you're just like, I'm sure it's him. I'm sure it's him. Shakpol Bess is one of the most influential loan operators in the galaxy. Incredibly
In other words,
powerful.
you might just have secured the first investor into Club Chev.
Maybe so. We're going to look after this one, basically. I shall recount this to the rest and say we need to make sure this one gets out.
As you say this, JT's stabbing him with a tissue sample collection thing.
Yeah.
I mean, still do that, but
Yeah. Yeah, that will be useful in case he wasn't entirely sane, so if you want him, we need to purge it from his system. I'm sure Jeezer will have some fun.
There's a look of absolute joy on his face. Doesn't seem to be a look of aggression. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell with the Chevin, being that they don't always look that friendly to start with. Being, as I say, they're kind of part elephant, part alligator in their appearance. He seems to be
I always
deliriously
consider
happy.
him more hippo than elephant.
Yeah, there's a bit of hippo going in there as well. He seems deliriously happy with a 1,000-yard stare.
okay. How long does stun actually from? Because this was a weapon stun, wasn't it? How long does that normally last? I'm trying to think.
It's because he's been maxed out on his strain. He's out until he basically needs to have a long rest to get 1 point of
Hi,
strain.
Snipe.
Okay,
Snipe.
so we've got a while. Okay, I mean we'll put him. We're still a bit careful. Maybe I'll leave the pit.
Leave
Well,
him here for now and pick him up on the way out.
Yes, it's a long way back to our.
I mean, he's stuck to the couch at the moment. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is true.
He's not.
So we'll leave him be right now, but making a note.
Okay. So yeah, and you're pretty sure that with his stumpy little hands and all the rest of it, he wouldn't be able to rip off the, especially now that you put the binders on him, he wouldn't be able to rip the light repeating blaster off the sofa if he tried, which has now been completely solidified to it, and you can hear the cracking of this goop as it's starting to solidify further, become basically solid polymer. You're gonna have to chip him out.
Also going to try and take the energy cell out of the light repeating blaster.
Sure. Adds to your inventory a free reload.
Nice.
Because if you roll a despair in combat, I can do that to your weapons.
Yeah, we
It
know.
might be encumbrance 1 though. Not sure.
It is encumbrance 1.
It's alright, I've thrown a grenade now.
Hey!
Yeah. There we go, trader. So you have managed to not only stop a fight before it started, because if you tried running in there, he would have basically just sprayed the entire room, and find out exactly what the modification is on that light repeating blaster. But you didn't kill him either. So
Value of preparation.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a little difficult to go up to him and kick him with shock boots, because he would have sprayed like crazy at that point. But saying that, I mean, again, Victoria's got armored to the teeth anyway.
My
you've
soak is 8. I am ready for almost everything.
You can hear from the central garden, like the communal living space between all of these high-class apartments. Stay away. Stay away. I am dangerous. Stay away. Stay away. I will harm you. Stay away. Stay
Hello?
away. I am dangerous.
That is a droid.
That is a
Repeat
security
it
droid.
over and over again.
R2, can you contact it?
It's not an R2, it's an R8.
You got an
R8.
R3 and an R8.
Alright.
R3, R8.
X4.
Either way.
X4.
X4, that'll work.
X4.
X4 says, all of you can. And sure enough, if you look on your comlink and go to local network, you can see that there's a transponder in that direction.
Huh.
No.
Sorry, not a transponder, a receiver.
Yes.
Everything is a transponder in Star Wars. A receiver is in that direction.
Hello?
Do not contact. Tracing. Tracing.
Oh.
Tracing. Tracing. X4 turns around to you and says, "Switch off your comlink.
I switch it off.
Target lost. Stay away from me. I am dangerous. Stay away from me. I will attack you.
Maybe you should
Stay
stay
away
away
from
from
me.
it.
Yeah, let's
Stay away
stay
from
away
me.
from
I
it.
have a restraining belt. Cannot have my own free will.
Oh, okay, restraining
Stay
bolt.
away from me.
Can we get
Stay
a?
away from me. I am dangerous.
Can we get the restraining bolt off them?
It's rather difficult. They're by design rather difficult to remove.
Yes.
Yeah, you would have to grapple this droid to the floor, and then have your plucky little astromech go up and use his welder in reverse, basically switch his welder to plasma cutter and cut the bloody thing off. Or it would be I think it's a diff for strength check for Victoria just to grab it and snap it off.
But it's just one droid. I think we could deal with it. We just
Theoretically,
flick both the weapons
I
off
could
stun mode.
do a diff for strength roll to rip it off because I have brawn 5.
Can we tell what kind of model it is?
X4, I'm not even going to roll for it. X4 goes, yes, super battle droid.
I'm
Oh.
healing.
And then goes ... It's Bishop.
Bishop. Need to save it.
We're in Nose Bishop.
We all, yes, we three. What, were you on that mission for this
No.
year? No, you
it's
were
just
not.
us two.
This is pre-Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
We should
flank.
save him.
Yes.
Just to
Weapons
remind
to Ion, if you can.
Yes.
So, buddies, to remind the player pool. So Bishop was an associate of Nala's daughter.
Yes, Bishop was one of 2 droids Nala's daughter owned. One died when we rescued her last. But
Knight,
Bishop made it out.
Another one was already kaput.
And Bishop started
Rook.
working for Liar's Gran.
yes.
Chevron will know this because the last bender you went on,
Okay, yes.
Bishop was pretty much the doorman.
Okay, excellent.
Interesting to know. Might be a good idea to save him then if he works for our client.
I suggest we flank, we all get shots, we coordinate.
You think you can hit the bolt, JT?
I think it would make more sense to Ion Bishop and bring him back after the bolt has come off.
Yeah.
I don't do iron. I do sword. I do slice.
You can.
That's why you're there to run in and take the bolt off.
Yes.
That's, okay. You guys shoot first, then I fly in. Yes. Can do. It's an open space, so I should be able to close up pretty fast.
For those of you who don't have Ion, I believe you can take the aim action and increase the diff or add 2 blacks to shoot a specific.
Oh, stun is just.
Oh no!
Ion.
Everyone
Stun.
has stun/ion.
Oh, is it? Are you sure?
Weirdly, because I've checked this a few times in the rules, iron definitely is good for getting rid of electrical systems and droids. So it is a weakness of droids that droids are affected by both stun damage and ion damage.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few weaknesses droids actually have, is that both stun and ion affects droids.
So we can use stun.
The good thing about ion weapons is that they can also knock out also non-droid and non-living creatures in such a way that it doesn't completely fry them. So you can go up and it can harmlessly take out, for example,
we added a secondary ion blast
or something
to
like
disrupt the pistol.
Oh yes, I do have iron.
You have the iron. I made sure of it.
Yes, I have iron damage.
You have both stun and iron.
Yes.
Okay. So,
flame
what's your
protector.
plan of action to
Well, I suggest that
rescue Bishop?
I would suggest that we provide some cover fire and some fire, and maybe Victoria flanks around and tries to. If we can't take him out with blasters, Victoria can try the.
Either if I can't rip it off, I should be able to slice it. I mean, it's just a piece of metal. I can take down doors. I should be able to take out.
Sorry, I got confused for a second there because I was like, "You're not a slicer," and then realised that you meant actual slicing.
Yes.
As in with a big ass sword.
Yes, slice.
X4,
Remember,
if we incapacitate Bishop, are you able to bring him back?
Yes.
X4 says yes, as long as you don't damage his core programming.
That's not our.
Don't do 30 odd points of strain damage.
Yes.
AKA again. Who knows?
It's not. I can't confirm that Simon's everyday voice is just a robot voice. That's.
Yeah, everything else is a voice. You just had my natural voice there.
Yes.
Okay, so JT. I don't.
If anything, actually, have we got multiple? So he's in the central courtyard. Are there multiple routes into this?
I'm worried about other
Yes,
apartments though, because we haven't seen in every apartment yet.
Okay, but I mean, I guess we can notionally, at least one or two of us can flank around to the side, and then I would suggest possibly. Well, I'd happily take Victoria around one more block, and then we pinch her in basically.
Yeah.
You two head back to the entrance.
Yeah, because
That
that
area
way
we've cleared.
we've already secured.
I will go quietly the other way and try not to be spotted, and we can pincer that way.
Okay. Do you want me to go with you, JT? So we are
No.
2 and 2.
No, this is a
three-way.
bad idea. I am quiet.
Okay.
All right,
If you're
JT,
sure.
you take the first
JT
shot.
goes that way, you two go that way, I stay here. Because then you two are firing that way, and I'm coming in there.
Okay.
No, there's only 2 approaches from here that you can take. So it's basically go back the way you came and take the central corridor, or come in from where you currently are.
Okay.
Okay.
Which way
so-
should I go then?
I mean, okay. So there's
If
only
you
2.
fire from one direction, he will turn that way probably. And I want to come in from the opposite.
So maybe if we stay here and you go back to the entrance and we can fire from here and you can run in.
I disagree. If anything, we draw him through the main thoroughfare where he's more likely to get in trouble. And then you can flank around.
Yeah, I'm happy for whatever.
From what Ed said, JT wants to stalk around the side and take a sniping position, whilst you guys make the most noise coming in from the other direction.
Yeah, I think we're gonna storm in the main way in. Okay, that works. Yeah, let's do that.
And bear in mind, because Victoria hasn't fucked up her jetpack, this is a wide open enough space that just launching yourself at him, Victoria, you feel like it wouldn't be the worst idea. It's not the best idea, but it's not the worst idea.
I mean, I've had worse ideas with that jetpack.
Oh, you have?
It's fine.
All right,
most of them have worked out in my favor, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
Most of them have not resulted in my death.
One string there. It's fine.
So
I
just
have
JT
string
in
to
the
spare.
in the second firing position, or do we want to just go half and half, basically?
JT,
Actually,
go
no.
that way. You two with me.
Actually, no. Neem plus Chevron equals about 1 JT, so yeah, let's do it that way.
Come on now. Remember, you have iron on your disruptor pistol, love.
Yes, I.
Tell the pit droids to stay still.
We put the iron thing on my disruptor's pistol, not on the. Right, so it does a lot.
Oh, that's what that button does.
Remembering our NPCs, we'll get Yantu to flank with...
Oh yes, NPC, we got Yantu.
Yeah.
Yantu's just waiting patiently for his orders. So far, he's just been following with the rest of you.
If anything comes from the any direction that is not us,
well, we can have him in the fight. We don't need to leave him to babysit the pit droids.
well,
Yantu looks a little hurt and says to Victoria, "We could probably pile on that pit droid and keep him. Not pit droid. Could pile on that droid and hold him down."
Yeah, if Yantu can help you,
could.
like you don't need to leave him with the droids. The droids are gonna matter.
Special moves with Yantu, come on.
Yeah, but we haven't figured those out yet.
Yantu is
We were working on the grappling together, but it didn't really work.
Well,
Yantu's going to try something.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. But I'm going in first, so you better have my
he
back.
passes. Yantu turns around and goes, "Hey, did you watch that fight the other day?" And he references basically what is WWF for Star Wars. And what he's proposing is effectively a team clothesline on the droid.
All right.
Dogpiling
We
it.
can try that.
We let JT take his shot. When the battle droid looks in JT's direction, we pile on.
If you help hold him still, I should be able to rip it right off him.
Let's do it.
Come
Sounds
on.
like a plan.
So
You two take shooting
what
positions.
What are we saying? Chev and Nima shoot at the same time as JT, maybe?
Yeah, that's
The more ion damage they do initially, the easier it will be. Should scramble the droid enough.
Blaster fire alone might just do it, if we're lucky.
Yeah,
Let's do it. And you watch as the very happy, so far loyal dog of a
Trandoshan.
dinosaur man, Trandoshan, who's been wandering so far and just kind of like, I could have helped.
Because we keep forgetting that he's here.
It's more the fact that
I was waiting
Simon
for
has
you guys
said
to turn
before,
around and get him involved. He's just been this. I'm being good. I don't want to get told I can't come on the next trip kind of thing.
Simon, please remind us that he's here because it's a lot of things to keep
last time
track.
we had him with us, you said he was doing the
NPCs
background
aren't supposed to
fighting.
outshine PCs. So,
yes, but just let him know that he's here.
He's our pet.
He's
We've got to
always
remember to
been there.
feed him. All right, you know.
Right at the beginning, he was there saying how happy he was to come.
But we keep forgetting.
So, okay, I will psychically remember when you forget and tell you.
Yeah, that's not on the GM, that's on us.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh well, let's do this.
Okay, yeah.
We have
also part of
7
it
more
is, I'm
minutes
assuming
of
if you
this.
guys have got good things, then rather than me coming in and getting the NPC to outshine you. You guys do it preferably. It's just you can call on him in the same way you can call on X4. You have a retinue. So and I've just been assuming that he's been covering your back all this time.
So I've had a plan for about 5 minutes now.
Yep. Cool. Let's do it. So first of all, can I get the main group don't need to be quiet. The JT will have to be to get into a vantage point. So can I have a stealth check? And it's going to be against his sensor systems. So that would be a... versus 1 red and 2 purple.
If possible, a medium distance away.
Sure.
You want to take an upgrade? Oh, it doesn't need it. It doesn't even need it.
I don't need it.
Done and done. Yeah. Yeah. You're there. You pre-aimed. I'm going to give you an extra 2 blue on the strike. You know about the sensor arc for these models, and you're just staying ahead of the sensor arc.
Lovely.
Okay. So in order, can I have JT make the attack first, based on your range? And hang on. There is 2 range defense, 2 blacks, please.
3 threats.
3 threats. Okay. So if he gets around, those threats will kick in. But if not, no. How much damage was that?
That is 16 stun damage with 1 pierce.
So that would have been that much. Yeah, there's a huge arc of ion energy just crackling over its chassis, but this incredibly well-built droid still isn't down. And next up is Chevron and Nima. Can you both do that? Again, 2 black.
Cool. Aim. Oh, actually,
I think that's the first time I've shot that gun in stun as well.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Devastating. And I might be the poor Yantu and Victoria are left jumping on an unconscious droid, depending on the outcome.
Oh, we've got the maneuver for an aim. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And we're quite close, aren't we, Simon? We're short range.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys have drawn, and you're basically running into your attack range. After JT has done the initial volley, it turns. You come forward, and you're once you're in range, you immediately fire, and you're aiming as you're coming in.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Because it's stunned, there's no crit.
But I can upgrade the next person's check.
Yes, you can. So yeah, upgrade chevrons.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
If you like, yeah.
Potent.
And Nima, how much was that, by the way?
Because that is iron damage, but it is with my disruptor rifle, so that is 11 points of iron damage.
Okay. Because this happens at the same time, I'm not going to tell you if that's enough, because you and Chevron are firing at the same time as part of your tactic. So Chevron.
So I've got actually. So
you've got an upgrade from Nima.
Okay, awesome. So it should be diff 1, isn't it? Because I'm at short range because I have to be stun.
Diff
and
1.
I'm upgrading it
black,
to.
though.
Yeah, that's fine because I've got 4 blue because of reasons. Oh yes, please. Oh, and I should have had another advantage to that because I've got a shiny gun.
Yep,
basically.
shiny gun.
So
How much stun was that?
So that this is when I'll do some maths. So that is 10 stun from the first shot and 9 stun from the second shot.
Sure. Between the Nima and Chevron shots, the super battle droid is taken down, and it actually falls to its knees by the time Yantu comes in and rugby tackles it to the floor and gets quite impressively, even though yes, it is currently stunned. It's currently stunned to the point where it's inactive. He very quickly gets it in a double arm lock. And you have a feeling that he probably would have stood a chance of holding it, even if it was active. Victoria, you can see that this thing is unconscious, or
Yep.
it is powered down at the moment. But if you want, you can still have a go to rip this restraining bolt off its chassis.
Go
Yes.
for it.
It won't hurt it at all. The restraining bolt is literally just welded to the chassis so that it can overwhelm any other orders from it. So literally, this is just you wrapping your hand around it and then just yanking it off, like taking the...
What was the diff?
the diff on this is a diff 4.
Okay. Blues or anything?
Yes, actually, there's a blue from Yanti.
Might
Is
be
it-
worth an upgrade as well.
Yeah. Well, what were you gonna spend all your lovely advantages on, Chevron? Your 7 advantages.
I'll allow an upgrade from those 7 advantages.
Only 6. Only 6. But
Oh, 6
yeah.
advantages.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are used to hit the other shot.
Yeah, no, 1 because I'm
One?
I'm
Oh,
good.
yeah.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
Well, let's say.
Oh, because I spent money actually. That's the reason why.
Yeah. Ping! You've got a restraining bolt in your hand. You haven't even broken the restraining bolt. You just broke the weld. Perfect
Might
snap
be
of the
useful
wrist.
for something.
And yeah, you've got a still usable restraining bolt in your hand.
I will
You
put
managed to
it in.
pin something down, pin down a droid. X4 could quite happily weld this back onto something.
In the relative silence, now we've run out into the middle of the courtyard that we were sort of avoiding. Anything else happened to us?
Yeah. You watch as 2 absolutely off their tits figures look at you gimlet-eyed. They violent looks on their faces. One of them is a Defil, so a big kind of dark wolf-like character, glowing eyes, and a Serian, which are the big four-headed guys. I can bring up a thing because you don't need to have a Chevin on the thing now. So you've got a Defil, so kind of a wolf man. Oh, no, wrong way. So yeah, you've got like a wolf man, kind of glowing eyes in the semi-darkness. And also a Serian, and I love this picture of a Serian. Much better than the oh, hang on. Oh, there we go.
The big forehead.
Yeah, big forehead. The ones you see on the films aren't that great, but the ones in the cartoons and graphic novels are brilliant. And you watched, they are quite clearly off their tits and looking violent, kind of gritting their teeth. But they see you take down that super battle droid, and something feral inside them makes them rout, and they start running.
Okay, I just leave them.
Do any of them come within a short range of me?
I would say that you could probably get one
I
shot
mean,
off.
the JT is from the opposite from me, so if they run away from where Victoria and
Well, they're
John
kind of
are,
running away
then
from
they
your group, but yeah, I mean,
then they should run towards where JT is currently.
no,
he
it's
was
kind,
in the
they're
sniper
kind of
position.
angling off into an opposite direction because there are more exits to this central area. It's just you only had 2 to go in a direct route.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
If one of them comes in short range, I will swap to the dart pistol and try and get a dart in one of them.
Yeah, sure. Which one would you like to go for? The Serian? I should be mentioning a couple of things here. So the Defil is drooling so much that the fur on its lower jaw and its neck is soaked and slicked to its body, and there is a yellow foam coming out of the side of its mouth. The Serian has bloodshot eyes, and you can see that there's markings, like little spiderweb patterns, appearing on their skin. None of you are trained high enough in medicine to notice what this is indicative of. But yeah, would you like the Defil or the Serian?
The Defil.
The Defil, sure. Give me a shot.
Uh,
No range defense.
Lovely. And have I got a maneuver to aim?
Yes.
Lovely.
Jeez. Okay, unfortunately, all those crazy successes only do a maximum of 1 damage because it's a dart gun. So I guess I'm doing the diff 4 check, and this is a defo, which is the defo looks lethargic, but stumbles down the corridor.
Can me use that opportunity to close in and try and
you would probably need to use the jetpack to get to the Serian, but you can, if you wish, catch up with the Defil that is now lethargic and bouncing off the walls.
I'll use the jetpack to catch up with the Defil, the other one, and let John 2 go after the one that's lethargic.
Cool. Sure. You're going to set Yontu onto him. So the you launch forward. There's a roar from your jetpack as...
Remember that Yontu also has those patches?
If he needs
the
them.
stim packs to stun
Oh,
them.
yeah.
He's
going to go forward and he's going to do what he's going to do. You set him onto him.
Yeah.
He has got them. You're right. He
if he uses them, that's up to you.
He's going to sprint forward, vault over one of the kind of flower beds, and he's going to charge at the Defil. Give me a quick... you know what? I'm going to forego the piloting planetary because it's such a big area, and you're only doing a short burst. So just give me a straight attack on the Serian. Usual diff 2, and I'm just going to throw a black in because it's a flying attack.
Are you stabbing it, or are you kicking her in the face?
Honestly, Simon, what would happen if I made a cold shot?
Depending on what you're doing a cold shot with the stun packs, which are the stim packs that have been had the anesthetic into it, it would not do a great deal because you're not medically minded enough to know where to put it.
I was gonna
basically
clock her with the broadside of my sword.
Oh,
Damn.
I mean, with the broadside of the sword, I'd allow that. And you don't have to switch on the vibro function, so that would get rid of that part. It would lose certain qualities using the flat.
It won't be pierce and not vicious, I assume.
Yeah.
But basically, I just want to knock them.
As you say, there's no pierce, there's no vicious, but I'd still allow it. You're trained with this bloody thing, and even on the flat of a broadsword, it's still beaning somebody over the head with it. Yeah, I'd allow that. Because it's just twatting them over the head, I'm going to say +1 diff 3.
Okay.
With the black for the fact that you're doing this as you're flying in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You go straight up and just over the top of the head. Because this is, you're still hitting them with a heavy weapon, I am going to do a quick... the difficulty that they would have is kind of a moot point. How much total damage have you just done?
9.
Okay. I'm going to do a coordination check for them, and the diff would be increased, so that would go up to 3. And
so my plan is basically knock them down and then stab them with the thingy.
So they don't fall prone, but we'll just do a quick follow-up attack, and then I'll do Yarn 2. And give me a melee attack, and it would
By
be...
the way, Simon, the crit you rolled, was that a crit for me? Because if that's the case...
No, it's a crit for them.
Yes, but from my attack.
Yes.
Is it still a crit on my attack? Because it's my sword, it's a crit 1, but...
No, it doesn't get advanced. It was just a flavor how they got beamed across the head. What happened? Yeah, it was just an inspiration roll for me. You get 2 blue. I'm gonna kind of boost it a little bit more. You get 2 blue for the stun pack stab. So go for that. So you beam them over the head with the sword. They stumble, but they don't fall, and then you're just coming in with the stab.
So that is a brawl check, right?
Yeah, brawl check, diff 2, but you get an extra 2 blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy enough. The Sarian doesn't have a huge amount of this, so I don't expect great things from them. Yep, wow. Sarian goes down, completely unconscious.
Another one for the collection.
And whilst you're pulling out another pair of slap cuffs for them, we're going to bring Yontu in, as Yontu is going to do a flying grapple on the Devil. And you watch as, in perfect WWE style, the Trandoshan goes up and puts the Devil in a sleeper hold until the drug kicks in, and the Devil just goes limp in his arms. He goes to throw it to the floor, and then as the Devil starts to fall to the floor, he grabs it by the shoulders and goes, "Keep forgetting, you're not an enemy." And then lowers him gently to the floor and cuffs him up, and then kind of pulls him over to the Sarian. Well done, you've managed to get another 2 innocents to unconscious, albeit that the Sarian is going to wake up with one hell of a headache. Yeah, I would say probably a certain level of concussion going on there. There were nicer ways to do that.
Big target to aim for.
Yeah, it's like it was the easiest way.
I don't know enough about Sarian physiology to know whether or not you've just given them permanent brain damage or not, but I'm going to say it was well executed. You had enough successes that it was well executed.
Victoria's a professional.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a professional at using a sword.
Well done. You it's you can add a because I know that Ed is keeping meticulous notes. You can add a male Devil, a female Sarian, and Bishop the battle droid to your list of patients that you are able to bring back.
I can't take some from Bishop.
Can we put a pair of repair patches on Bishop?
Yes, can we wake Bishop up?
X4 would be able to wake Bishop up, and he kind of looks up at you, and on your comlinks there is basically a reboot timer. You've got around about 25 minutes for all of the complex systems to.
Let's pull him back into the hallway so they're not out in the open.
Between you and Yantu, you can pick up this battle droid.
Yeah, I mean, let's just
chill
out for 20 minutes.
Stash the robot as well as our 2 new patients in the room with the guy who is glued up.
Or we can wait, because the time is going to take us to drag him there. We can just wait for him to boot up.
Yeah, but we'll drag them there, and if he wakes up, then that's good.
Yeah.
Because,
either way, we'll drag them out of the open.
If you hadn't used the ion weapons, and you just went in and wrenched the bolt from his head, granted there were some pretty nasty things if you'd ended up getting a despair, and if you just tried that straight, I would have upgraded it to see if you got that despair. But yeah, if you just ripped it off his head and you hadn't used the iron weaponry, suddenly he would have just gone, "Hello, how can I help you?" Mm-hmm. And you would have gained him to your party. But you went with the safe option, which is good. You are keeping control of it all.
Yes.
So you know where Lias Grand's apartment is.
We're closer.
Mm-hmm. you are pretty much just a few feet away from it now.
There. Okay. Well, the question is,
Well,
do we want
is
to,
that
do we want
for
to
next
pause at
time?
this point? Indeed.
Yeah.
Or shall we open the door? It's up to Simon. Well, I'm more than happy to open the door, Simon, but it's you're the person in charge.
Let's have the final image that we need to finish up on. So you open the door to Elias Grant's apartment, and you can see that there's nothing there. However, you can see that you can see there's nothing in the apartment. The apartment has been tossed. Although it's a bit hard to tell with Elias Grant whether it's been tossed or not, because it's usually in a disheveled state. As you remember from his message to you, he said he barricaded himself in, and sure enough, there's one door that is closed. You can see that a few of Elias Grant's roadies have been killed in this room, along with several droids. Well, I say several droids, 3 droids. One of them is a protocol droid. One of them is just a little kind of service droid, like a communications droid. And the last one was just effectively a butler, so effectively a variant of a protocol droid. And you can see that a lot of these have been 3 droids have been killed. About 5 roadies have been killed in this room. But there is one door that is heavily damaged, but still shut. And that is where we're going to finish for today. And I was about to say, sorry, I didn't realize that we'd gone a quarter of an hour over, but we seem to be in the moment.
Yeah, we did good.
Right.
We saved an old friend of Zeke's, guys, so...
Yeah, well, I made sure that this cracked on at a certain pace, and I had ways of kind of pushing you to floor 11 if you didn't go there willingly. Because obviously every session we do is a higher chance that Paul might not be here. So
we'll drop by 9 on the way down.
Well, that's the thing is,
Maybe.
once you get to a certain part in the story, even if Paul isn't here, I can just say that Chevron's kind of helping his friend back to the ship and all of that. Okay, so that is everything for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for I've mostly not been looking at chat, but thank you to
Snipe Aura.
Aura Hermit, Snipe. And thank you to Mystical, if you're still around, for the follow. And also a big thank you today for Felicia, Corinne, Paul, and Ed for this story.
And thank you, Simon.
Simon for DMing.
Oh, thank you very much. So the next stream that we will be having is on Friday. And that's going to be our usual 8 p.m. UK time to 11 p.m. UK time for D&D 5th edition, The Benefactor. However, on Saturday, I'm collecting what players I can to do a Dark Ages game. So whoever is going to be free in the community and is willing to either learn or knows about the Genesis system, that's the system we've been using today. I have a game that I've been experimenting with for a while. I've got the pirate game coming up as well, but just on the last part of that now, and I've got 3 players already. I'm looking for a potential 4th and 5th. I've got Felicia as a potential 4th as well, so thank you for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be this week coming. But on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a medieval, very gritty, very kind of Cthulhu-esque. I don't want it to be about gribbly monsters and things like that, but Cthulhu in terms of you might die or have something lobbed off. So, yeah.
Sounds fun.
Let's say the crit table will be applied with gusto at what you're going to do. So once I collect people together, I would like to stream on Saturday, time to be determined, a medieval romp where it's going to be kind of Dark Ages. Dark Ages, low fantasy, magic exists, but you don't have it. Divine powers exist, but you don't have them. It's for anybody who's watched me play Mordheim, there's a little spoiler in there in that the game is called the Iron Wall. So hopefully we'll see you on Saturday as well. If not, See you on Sunday. Thank you very much for watching.
You mean Friday, not Sunday.
Did I say Sunday? The tiredness is getting to me. Sorry. See you all on Friday, 8 p.m. UK time for our long-running D&D stream, The Benefactor. But until then, take care. We'll see you on Discord. If you haven't followed or subscribed, do those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good night.
Also, check out my commission on Twitter.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because I take those.
Yes. Good night,
And
everybody.
I need a haircut.
Yes.
Desperately.
Good night, everybody.
Night-night.